before we get going, we want to thank our title sponsor, Walker Chevrolet. Without them, none of this would be possible. We'd also like to thank Adidas and Matthews Team Sports, and our new sponsor, Pioneer Heating and Cooling. Additionally, Dan Tully of Mojos Tacos, along with Lance West and WCTV. Also, a shout-out to Christian Taylor for his designs on the media guide. So we're going to do a little pregame show here. My partner in crime today is probably somebody you're very familiar with, the legendary coach from Ravenwood High School, Will Hester, 25-15 state champion. Welcome in, Will.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. A little different being on this side of things. But now I can tell people what I really think about them, so it's good.
Yeah, well, I don't think you ever shied away from that, but we'll see how that goes. So today, all 9 programs from across the county are going to be represented by their head coach and 3 players. But we're going to give a little preview here. So we're going to start off with the team kind of on the outside of Williamson County, the 3A school, the Fairview Yellow Jackets, where their region has now expanded to 7 teams, coming off a 4-7 season, falling to Liberty Creek in the first round of the playoffs last year. But their 17th straight playoff appearance. The Tennessean has picked them to win this region. Obviously, we know rankings don't mean a whole lot. So what are your thoughts this year on the Yellow Jackets?
Well, I've always thought a whole lot about Chris Hughes and how he does things. Clearly, that community rallies around Yellow Jacket football, and they always play a great brand of football. And excited to see them this year. A lot of expectations, right? We've talked a lot about where they are predicted to finish, and now it's time for them to get out on the field and kind of prove it. But I look forward for those guys to do a great job.
Yeah, when I talked with Coach Hughes earlier in the week, he said he's really kind of changing his aspect of how he's handling practice. Probably a little bit of a disappointing season, getting knocked out in the first round of the playoffs last year. Quarterback Jax McCoy is going to be back, returning from injury. And with the new opponents, the new region, they're expecting to make a lot of noise this year. All right, moving to Class 5A. The Williamson County teams are now in the 5-team 5A region, moving over from Region 6. The Tennessean has picked Page to win the region, followed by Nolensville, Hillsborough, Centennial, and James Lawson. We did a little informal coaches poll, little deviation there. Page still number 1, but it was followed by Centennial, James Lawson, and Nolensville were tied for 3rd, and then Hillsborough coming in 5th. No surprise that Page is picked to win this region, obviously coming off of 4 consecutive state runner-up finishes. Nolensville, some other storylines in the district, 7-5, fell in the second round to Shelbyville. Centennial also finished 2-5, fell in the second round to Page. But probably the biggest storyline outside of Page in this region is 2 new coaches. Scott Stidham moving over from Independence, and then Coach Jay Graham, the former UT star, coming in. What are your thoughts on that region?
Yeah, I mean, until someone knocks Page off, right, they're going to be considered the favorite in that league. But you're right, the coaching changes in this league does make it interesting. I think a lot of Coach Stidham, I thought a lot of him when he was in Independence. Fun fact about Coach Stidham, the first ever varsity game on the field at Nolensville High was between Nolensville and a Scott Stidham coach South Gibson team. Dr. Looney parachuted the game ball in, the whole thing. But the first game ever played in that stadium, Scott Stidham was on the sidelines for. So it's interesting to see that kind of come full circle. A lot of energy around Coach Graham, hearing a lot of great things about what he's got going on over there at Centennial. I know the teachers and faculty in the building are excited about what he's bringing to the table. And, we haven't even mentioned that one Brian Rector is back as the AD, so I'm sure he's going to make sure things are running smoothly over there.
Coach Rector, hold people hostage if he has to get stuff done over there. What do you think it's going to take for Page to break through and win the state title this year?
I mean, on the simple, scoring 1 more point than the opponent that night. But, I mean, it's just tough, right? You get into that mindset and then something happens and now you think back to all the things that have happened the previous 4 years and, oh, no, here we go again, right? I think it's going to take, almost forgetting the past, living in that moment, that 48 minutes or whatever that they're playing that one night, and then I think they'll be able to punch through.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a second. So in 2014 at Ravenwood, you play Maryville in the state championship game. My recollection of that game, you pull out all the stops, trick plays. You did everything possible to put yourself in a position to win, lose a heartbreaker. Next year, come back, probably a little bit more of a significant underdog in that game, and you're able to get over the top. Like, how important is that experience of playing in those games? Page has a senior-laden team. They're stacked with, got a lot of transfers coming in. They got several college prospects, and several kids committed. Speak to that in terms of like how much that experience can possibly help you moving forward.
Well, I mean, experience is almost everything, in my opinion. It's hard to do something the first time, but it's a lot easier to do it every time after that. And all these teams, we're going to talk about several teams that are very senior laden from this panel today. And I think having been there, having done that is always the key. Now, they haven't done to the fullest extent of what they want to accomplish. So that's the last hurdle they got to jump, right? Once they jump that one, heck, it may be an epic run.
No doubt. Page stacked with college prospects all over the place. We'll have 3 here today. Knight Wilson, who was 2024 All-State, Air Force commit Jacob Rathbone, the coach's son, committed to Central Arkansas, and then Jordan Curl, all-region player last year, is a Western Kentucky commit. So obviously a lot going for them, a lot of talent over there. This could be the year. I know Coach Rathbone would like to get that monkey off his back, and it speaks volumes that you can just get there 4 times, right? I mean, that's incredible.
I mean, people want to say one thing or another. They've been in the championship game 4 years in a row. Almost no one can say that outside of some of the epic runs of Alcoa and Maryville and some of those teams. So, that in and of itself is success on the highest level. Now, they just want to change the tint of the ball that's in the trophy case a little bit, right? They want to go from that silver to the gold. And sometimes it's hard to make that one last jump, but I think they have the talent to do it.
No doubt. Well, hopefully this is the year for Page, but I think Centennial Nolans will want to have something to say about that before it's all said and done. All right, now moving on to Class 6A. The majority of Williamson County schools in this region, we got the 5 big schools in this region. A few new teams added. You got Shelbyville and Coffee County. Overton moves out of the region. Shelbyville and Coffee County moves in. The Tennessean prediction on that poll, Ravenwood 1, Brentwood 2, Independence 3, Franklin and Summit to round out the top 5, and then Shelbyville and Coffee County. A team you're pretty familiar with picked to win it. A lot of talent coming back. Ravenwood finishes 13-1 last year. Tough semifinal loss to Houston on the road. And 40 seniors on this group, led by 2 quarterbacks that have already committed to play in college. How do you see it playing out for the Raptors this year?
Well, I mean, I think that they finally got a different coach in place, which will help them kind of get over the hump. That the previous guy was holding them back a little bit. But no, phenomenal group of seniors they have returning. Very, very experienced group, especially on the defensive side. Offense, led by 2, college committed quarterbacks, but defense is where the majority of their experience lies. They will be tough to score on, right? You're going to have to play very, very well to score in double digits on them any given Friday. So, great things for them. Excited to see what they do. Obviously, a lot of relationships there. Coach Rodriguez is going to do a good job, but he's got a phenomenal staff, and those guys are going to be very good.
Now, while it's Coach Rodriguez's first year to be a head coach in Tennessee, your assistant for 2 years, worked at BGA, but was a head coach in California for several years. Let's talk about the 2 quarterback system here. 2 very talented guys, 2 very different styles that they play. Was that something that was hard for you to manage?
No, because of who they are. Personality-wise, great friends, great competitors, great teammates, both just wanted to win. But our mindset last year, and I think I said it sitting right here 1 year ago, is that they were both Division I, QB1 type players, and they just happen to be on the same team. So why not play them both? They deserve to play. They both are good enough to play, and quite frankly, it makes it difficult for the defense. You got Femi Babalola who can do everything. You got Maverick Chance that can do everything and run you over. Right? There are many games that he changed the emotion of the game by running the football and trucking some defensive back right on our sideline and people going crazy. So those guys are game changers, and they both need to be on the field. Yeah,
Maverick not running around anybody, running right through him quite a bit.
He doesn't know how to avoid.
Well, staying in that region and lurking in the shadows is a crosstown rival, the Brentwood Bruins, coming off a 9-3 season. Second-round loss to Stewart's Creek in a very, very tough game. They have a sophomore transfer quarterback, Gavin Strang, who's from Lausanne out of Memphis. Coach Finch expects him to get the starting nod, and they're replacing 8 of their starters on defense. But on paper, this would be the Raptors' toughest challenge in this district, and we all know in the Battle of the Woods, anything goes. What are your thoughts on the Bruins?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in the point now in the conversation, right, for I mean, there's always been transfers, but I think that word transfer is going to come up a bunch today, right? And we're going to discuss how that's changed the dynamic of teams and what that looks like. I think just about every team in Williamson County has probably received a couple, and every team in Williamson County may have lost a couple, right? So interesting to see how that dynamic plays out, and Brentwood High being one of those, right? They had a couple of guys transfer out. Guys that may be looking for other opportunities, and you have a guy transfer in looking for another opportunity. And so how all this meshes together and the culture of the teams and how you can come together as a team, I think that's going to be the toughest job for these coaches this year is, hey, we've got a guy who may have come in for 1 year or this is his first year. How does he incorporate it into the team? Whose feelings are hurt by this kid showing up, right? And how do we manage that? And I think it's going to play a factor in how successful these teams are.
Yeah, what a different dynamic with the transfer rule. I think it's probably going to have a little bit of an impact this year, but as we continue to move forward, it's going to be an even bigger deal, especially in Williamson County, which is such an attractive place to be.
A topic the county AD is going to have to stress over for a while.
Yeah, well, we won't shed any light on that yet, but we'll get there. So it makes the job a little bit tougher. What I think is probably one of the more exciting and interesting storylines in this district is the return of Scott Blade to the Independence Eagles. 15-0, 5A state champion in 2015, two-time state champion overall, looking to build that program back up after a pretty tough season last year, 3-8 season, first-round exit in the playoffs. I know there's a lot of excitement in that community with his return. What do you think is in store for the Eagles this year?
Yeah, I mean, easy transition, right? He knew where his office was. He knew how to turn to get there. Day one, he wasn't stressed about the things he didn't know, right? He knew everything. Now it's time for him to kind of put the pieces back to the puzzle as he wants it, right? Scott Stidham moves from Independence over to Nelsville, who I think is a phenomenal coach in his own right. So I think they went from one good coach to another good coach, just a familiar coach who's had some success there, and that may kind of interject some energy back into the program. But Scott Blade has proven that he's a great coach at all levels, whether it be public or private. Now it's just time for him to kind of put his mark on there. And how fast does it happen, right? Is it overnight, or does it take a year or two?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when I talk to people in the Independence community, just the mentality has significantly shifted with him being back in the fold. Obviously, he's had a lot of success, and it'd be exciting to see if they can compete with Brentwood and Ravenwood this year in this region. I expect them to be a very tough out as the season progresses. Moving on, the Franklin Admirals, sometimes I want to say Rebels, still not used to that because, I've been here a while, but the Admirals coming off a pretty solid season, 6-6 considering where they'd been the year before, lose to your Ravenwood Raptors last year in the second round. Probably the biggest storyline is the Dandy Dozen Luke Thompson, who's committed to Tennessee. Coach Adkins just returning 2 offensive starters and 4 defensive, so it's going to be a little bit younger team, but a lot of success for Coach in year one.
And success breeds success. I think all coaches would tell you you would rather be replacing some key players coming off a successful season. And I think they would consider what they did last year a successful season. Several of their losses were to the same people, right? They lost to us twice. I mean, they went 6-6, but they had a successful season, right? And won the first round playoff game on the road. Now the key is we did lose those guys. How well have the guys behind them prepared in the offseason? If we can get the ball to Luke Thompson on a regular basis, it's going to be good for the program, right? I think there's some video out there from last night's scrimmage where he runs by a Rockville kid like he's standing still, right? You can't coach speed. Speed kills. Donovan Starr is a product of speed, right? He's a young man that's playing football at Auburn and getting reps with the twos at Auburn right now because of speed, and that's what Luke Thompson has. And that's why he's going to the University of Tennessee, because you can't coach speed.
Yeah, it's always great to have a player like that you can kind of build things around. And then we'll wrap it up here in this region with the Summit Spartans, looking to bounce back from a 3-7 campaign. Coach Coleman, one of the more successful coaches in Williamson County history, runner-up in 2019 and 21 for a state championship, and then winning the state title in 2020. It's a rough season for the Spartans last year, looking to bounce back. What can you tell us about them?
Well, I mean, Coach Coleman, I think it's his 11th year as a head coach. Obviously, he's experienced. He was back-to-back, actually 3 in a row state championship games, winning one of those when the Twins were there. And obviously, he knows how to win football games. And, every year someone has a down cycle of talent. It just happens from time to time, and it makes it difficult. Now, how does it cycle back this year? I don't know. Paul Derrick, former Nolensville coach, is now on the staff, so add some more experience to the coaching staff. Obviously, Kerry Collins knows a little bit of football, right? He's only played 1,000 games. So, I expect the Spartans to be a tough out for anybody. They're going to be right there when it comes playoff time.
Yeah, impressive staff with those guys. Also, Alex Melton, former Franklin coach.
Yep.
So, a lot of experience there, a lot of guys that know what it takes to win at this level. Well, that kind of concludes the wrap-up of or the preview here of the teams across Williamson County. You got any closing thoughts or any bold predictions?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have any bold predictions. I would say there is an opportunity for Williamson County football to be represented in 3 championship games when it goes to Chattanooga this year. So, I mean, I could see the Yellow Jackets making a run. I could see one of the 5A teams making a run, and then obviously it's a numbers game. There's going to be a lot of 6A teams with an opportunity. So, I mean, there is opportunity that Williamson County football on the public side is heavily invested in the state championship games.
Yeah, I mean, last year, as many Williamson County teams that could make the playoffs did. 8 of the 9, obviously, in 6A, only 4 are going to make it because they're on the same region. A lot of success. A lot of people are going to circle that October 30th date, the day before Halloween. It's a Thursday. You've got some pretty big matchups. You've got Independence and Summit. You've got Ravenwood and Brentwood. Any thoughts about those games? Obviously, a lot to play out. It's the last game of the season, but there could be quite a bit at stake at that last game.
Yeah, and, I agree with you totally. The Tita Whistle Blades kind of have done us a disservice, especially for people like me who are fans now. The fact that all those games are played on the same Friday night because it's kind of rivalry week. You can't see multiple of them. You can only pick one to go see. So it's going to be tough to pick that one. And then I'm interested to see how the playoffs sort out. Now, we've thrown the wrench in there of kind of a reshuffling of the playoff bracket, if you will, after the first round. So some of these matchups are a little bit different because I guess people are tired of the same old stale second and third round matchups. So that'll be interesting, especially with our 6A group being paired up with Memphis, and does that create some more travel to Memphis and things for our guys?
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see how that plays out. So we've got an exciting day ahead. In just under 10 minutes, we will have the Fairview Yellow Jackets, Coach Hughes and his players take the stage. So stick with us, and we will be back shortly. All right, welcome back. We are going to start it off with the Fairview Yellow Jackets, led by Coach Chris Hughes in his 18th year at Fairview with a 121-45 record, 5-time region champion and Coach of the Year. And the Yellow Jackets have been to the playoffs every year that Coach Hughes has been the head coach. He is joined today by 3 all-region seniors, Will Frank, Caden Lee, and Sam Rude. We're going to allow Coach Hughes to make an opening statement, and then we will take questions from the media.
Like he said, I'm Chris Hughes with the Fairview High School Yellow Jackets. I love where I'm at. I love these guys. We were 4-7 last year, first losing season we've had at Fairview. Had a lot of injuries, a lot of things that happened throughout the season, but we're determined to not let that happen again. And we didn't lose a lot of seniors, about 2 or 3 that really contributed. So these guys have had tons of experience, and we're excited to get started. New region, different teams, and we are building, and we're hoping that this season will be better for the Yellow Jackets. And I will promise you this, we're not going to have another losing record. It won't happen again. So that's pretty much it as far as the Yellow Jackets go. So
we'll open it up for questions. Just raise your hand. I'll get to you.
Hey, Coach. Blaine Keller with Main Street Preps. Curious if you could talk a little bit about Jax's recovery and where you guys are kind of at in the quarterback spot right now.
Well, he hasn't missed anything. He's been back. We protected him, so he's not had any live bullets. Both our scrimmages, we had him in a red shirt, and if they got within 5 feet, I had the referee blow the whistle. So we have to make sure he gets some the live reps with that coming. But as far as his arm and his moving around, he looks really good. But that first contact, is when we're really going to know. And I'm not willing to let that happen until game 1. So we'll know against East Hickman. But, however, he looks good throwing the ball. He looks good running the offense. Jax is a very calming personality, which is what you want as quarterback. One of the reasons I didn't bring him is because his answer would have been yes and no. He wouldn't really say a whole lot. But his recovery is going well, and that's important for Coach McCoy because Jax is an instrumental part of the basketball team too. So we've got to keep him healthy all year.
One follow-up on that. How can you kind of detail us what the rehab looked like for him, and then just obviously how important it is to get him back to your team?
Yeah, it was very important, and he went 3 times a week to therapy. He was at Star out in Fairview, and we did stuff with him on the side too. A lot of the things he did was mobility things, moving his legs, trying to get his movement back. He is in a brace still, and he'll be there. Like, I don't want to violate any HIPAA rights or anything, but I know he looks good. He's going to have a brace to protect his leg, but he worked his butt off to get where he's at, and that therapy was not easy. Any of you been through a real traumatic injury? Recovery is one thing. Doing all the stuff you have to get back to being able to play is another thing, and he worked hard to get there. And I think he's really excited about this year, mainly because he gets to play with these guys. Caden's one of his best friends, and he's going to be throwing the ball to Caden a lot, so it ought to be exciting to watch.
Caden, how glad are you to have your quarterback back?
I'm super excited to have him back. He's a great guy, and he loves football. So he's just footballing. I'm just super excited to have him back.
All right. Would like to go next?
I'll follow up a little bit. I'll tell you how excited he is. He didn't get a lot of balls after Jax went down last year. We had to do a lot more running. So he's excited for the opportunities to get more catches, and Jax will give him that opportunity.
Hey, guys. Charles with the Williamson Herald here. For you players especially here, I know last year I think we had, maybe 12, 13 starters injured at some point. I mean, this was a tough season in terms of the injury bug. Guys, just talk about what it means to be able to come back with so many of those faces coming back, and now we got something to prove on top of that. Let's talk a little bit about your motivations and things like that.
It's hard at the end of the season. Like, you're going into some of your most important games, playoffs, all that, like win or go home, and you have 13, 14 guys out missing it. Like, it just feels like you're missing a whole part of your team, and that makes it hard. So coming back this summer, not graduating many seniors coming back with a whole team of just seniors that have been through the program, know what we're doing. It's going to be something really special this year.
I ended up getting hurt week 9. It was right before playoffs, and we just had a bunch of injuries, and it brought our team down a lot. I mean, it took everyone down, and we're just trying to prevent that this season, and hoping this season goes well.
And even with those injuries, we lost our last 2 games by a total of 9 points. So, I mean, you look at Will was an all-state linebacker with 123 tackles. He only played 9 games. So you look at those kind of things, and you're like, we were still that close. We could have been in the 3rd round of the playoffs very easily with the guys that were filling in for the guys that were injured. So I was real proud of how we finished the season strong. And I think it's propelled them and gave them a lot of hope this year with the way the regions fell out. We have a good chance at our ultimate goal is the state championship, Charles. We've never got it. I failed every year, but we're going to keep doing it until we get it or until I get fired or retire. So.
Coach, if you didn't mind kind of expanding on a little bit, break down this offense a little bit. We heard about Jax obviously getting to come back here, but I know you're excited about this running back room. You got some veteran guys leading up front. I mean,
starts right here. This guy right here puts his hands on people and moves them. We're going to be able to move the ball down the field. Caden, everybody's got to worry about him, which gives us a lot of credibility with our run game. We have some young running backs and some big running backs. We've got every type of running back you could want. We got the scat back. We've got thunder and lightning. We've got a 280-pound running back who will mow you down and runs fast. He can outrun me. Now he's not very pretty to look at, but he's a good running back. We love Kentrell and Bryson Harrison, their cousins. Both of them are really good. And then we've got a freshman, Julius Carter, who had some good carries. I feel like our running, and we've got John Barrick, who quarterbacked last year, and he can run too. We have so many guys. It's going to be hard to distribute the ball, but it makes it hard, Charles, because we got so many options. Game planning for us is going to be impossible. And I know they're not going to know what we're going to do because I don't know what we're going to do. So I'm going to figure it out as we go, just like hopefully the defense won't figure it out.
Kevin Warner, Williamson team. If you guys, seniors coming back, just talk about you talked about it a little bit, but what have you guys talked about internally about improving on last year's finish in the playoffs and going further this year? How have you guys kind of talked about last season and what you guys need to do going forward?
No, we try not to talk about as much as last season. You know, we try to just work on what we can do now, what we can control now. So, like, honestly, I think that I lost my thought.
Our road to the state championship is better. We talked about that. Like our road.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh yeah. We have a much easier. I wouldn't even say easier, just a better schedule. Like our road to the playoff and road to the state championship will be, I think, honestly, much easier. And I just think we can go out there and get it done.
I'm gonna be honest, just really last season for all of us, like especially for me, Will and Caden being the leaders of this team, it's really been like just kind of a fire burning under all of us. Like finishing with that record, first losing season of Coach Hughes, like the whole time he's been there, it's just been something that's motivated us to just go back and come back even stronger.
Yeah, I mean, that's same thing as Sam said. It's just like it's something that's been in the back of my mind for a while now, and I hate ending how we did, and it's something I'm just really excited for the season and change everything.
Well, we had a meeting at the spring, and these three guys are on my leadership team. They're key cogs in what we're doing. But we met with the entire team in the library, and I showed them the path that was going to take us, who we've got to face, what we would have to do to get to the state championship. And we feel like we have as good a chance to get to Martin Westview for that chance to go to the state championship as we've ever had. East Nashville's dropped down to 2A, Pearl Cone's at 4A, Alcoa has moved to 4A. The 3A path for these guys, it's legitimately something we can grab hold. When you set goals that you can't obtain, like I want to lose 30 pounds, that's not realistic. So I say I want to lose 5, and then I can really work toward that goal. So we have set an attainable goal now. We see it, and we know we can go get it. So the excitement they have shown in the spring and the fall is building to that so we can get good enough on the field to compete with all those teams in our way. You know, White House Heritage, Whites Creek, all the teams that are going to stand in front of us to get to Martin Westview and then play them and then get to the state championship. I would love for these guys to be the first group that had a losing season and then go to the 4th round of the playoffs for the first time in school history. I think that would really say something about the character of these young men.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, good to see you. Players, glad you're here this morning on an early Saturday morning, usually a sleep-in day for a lot of guys when they're practicing. Brad DeShield, Dash to Sports, covers Summit High School football. Coach, how important after last year, and you see a lot of the injuries, how important is it to really work on that depth chart? I mean, you know, the 2s and 3s are always important, but, you know, after what happened last year, some of your starters going down, and I know you've only got so many players to work in, but how important is that?
Well, we had to recruit the hallways. We had 81 kids when we started. We're down to about 70. But I will say this, we are doing more to address that. We're doing more one-way players. You know, Summit has the luxury of playing this many over here and this many over here, which I heard their numbers are down, so they may not have that luxury this year. But I think keeping a kid on one side of the ball is very important to their energy, what they can do, and also keeps them healthy. But there are some guys that have to go both ways. Caden Lee is one of them. He's going to have to play DB and wide receiver. That's different than Sam having to turn around and play O-line and play D-line and then still give me 100%. So I think we're going to address that to solve injuries. So we're practicing offense on one end and defense on the other. We also changed our mentality of practice. Out of those 13 injuries, 9 of them happened at practice. So I want to lose kids if I lose them in the games and not at practice. So we've really cut back on our contact. We're still tackling, forming up, but we're not doing a lot of legs and hard hitting. Yeah. So we're saving that for the games. It's making them more hungry, we hope, and keeping people fresh.
Exactly. I'm going to ask maybe each player or whoever wants to answer this. You talked about your leadership team and I love how you described, hey, there's a path to actually grab a hold of this year. Guys, talk about what that means to you as a player. I mean, as a coach, it's one thing, but with him sharing that with you and looking at the whole process of how, hey, this is within grasp, but look at our schedule, that kind of thing. Talk about the impact on that, if you will.
When Coach Hughes brings us in the spring and he's like, y'all are going to be my leadership team, and here's my vision for the season, and he wants to see what we think, and he shows us, like, our path right now, it really just, like, opened all of our eyes to how far we can go this season, like, where we can take this team, and we can really leave a history at Fairview for our senior year.
I mean, yeah, it just really got me fired up. I mean, hearing that, it's just it brings excitement to me. And yeah, I'm just excited, man. I'm excited.
You can tell Will wants to hit somebody right now.
I think that, like, the leadership team and everything that Coach is doing for us is great. I think him putting our goals out there and just showing us what is obtainable is just one of the best things that we could, like, have on our team. Our leadership team is great. We had amazing guys who just want to win and play football, so that's pretty much it.
Well, and I'm big on character, and these guys are doing the right things on and off the court. They're making their grades. They're helping people. They're doing things like you want them to do. But I'll say this, when I showed them that, I started with me. I mean, we had to change as a coaching staff our whole philosophy. Like, we were the old full pads, 3 days with Oklahoma drills. Like, we're doing those things, and then we're losing all these players. And I'm like, we got to address it. So we're doing, I know you probably heard of Feed the Cats, but we're doing what Ravenwood's doing, what Green Hill is doing, with all these successful programs. We went to clinics, we figured it out, bought a lot of stuff we tackle now besides each other. So I think we had to adjust, because I apologized. The losing season is on me, not on them, and we have to adjust when things are. I told them, if I go back into the season doing the same thing and we were 4-7 and I expect different results, that's crazy. So things look a lot different at Fairview right now. Now, if we stumble again this year, I'm going to readdress it next year. You know, we're not reinventing the wheel, but we'll keep changing until we have success. I'm a gracious winner, but I'm a terrible loser. You know, I shake hands, but it's hard. I swallow it's I don't want to say I have a bad attitude, but it eats at me. And my wife said that I'm not allowed to come home this year like I did last year, because it affected my family, my mentality, and I know it did them too. So when you have all that negativity, I told them, I said, let's just come into it real positive, try something new, and let's just have fun playing football and get back. Because really, these guys want to leave high school and say, that was a great experience. You know, they don't want to go through and go, man, I hated that 3.5 hour practice. You know, that's where I'm at. So I think we've adjusted, and I hope the results show on Friday night.
All right. If there are no further questions, we'll let these guys go. Expecting big things out of Fairview this year. Gentlemen, thanks for being here today. Thank you. All right, now we're moving on to the Brentwood Bruins, led by head coach Clint Finch in his 5th year at Brentwood. Is the head coach, 18th overall in his 32nd year of teaching. Coaches 37-12 overall, the 2023 Region Coach of the Year. And he's joined by seniors Philip Wink, Barron Langford, and Jackson Allen. We'll start off with an opening statement from Coach Finch, and then we will take questions.
All right, number one, I want to thank the people that need to be thanked, and obviously Coach Whitlock and WCS Athletics for continuing to put this day on. It's something special that we get to do for our kids in WCS, and they appreciate it. Our kids appreciate it. Our parents appreciate it. Our coaches really appreciate it. To the media guys here, thank you for taking time out of your Saturday to come here and give some coverage to high school athletics. Our players, our parents, and our coaches are incredibly committed to what we do, and to know that you guys go out and you give these kids some their due recognition for all their hard work. I just want you to know how much I appreciate that and how much it means to not only me personally, but our football program as a whole. Always good to get this started. Everybody's always excited as a new season comes along. I think if you're a football coach and you're not excited at this time of year, it means you probably need to retire and start playing golf more. But it's just this group of kids right now is working incredibly hard. It's kind of been a mantra of Brentwood football for a long time that we develop kids. We're trying to be a developmental program. And to develop kids, you have to work really, really hard, and it's a long process, right? I know Barron and Phillip in the off season. This season really started for us, I think, January 6th at 5:30 a.m. Jackson, as soon as baseball was over, he joined us. So we've just continued to kind of stress to these kids that the importance of hard work, the importance of improving every day. This is a weird season. We've graduated a lot of kids off last year's team and the 2023 team. I think this year we probably have more question marks than we've had in a long time. But what we've been really, really encouraged by, and one of the good things about this media days following when it did, is we're 2 scrimmages in. And so in both of those scrimmages, I think we've shown tremendous growth. And we went against Siegel last week. We went against Nolo last night. And I think, we talk a lot about you have to trend upward. In 6A football in Williamson County, there's no time to stand still, and you can certainly never regress. And our kids have done a good job of pushing forward and continuing to improve. We'll expect a lot out of these 3 guys as well as all of our seniors. We're going to wind up, with a pretty senior-heavy team again, with a lot of starters being seniors, but we'll have to count on a number of key juniors to have some success this year as well. Pretty excited about our schedule. That schedule includes, we open up in Smyrna in 2 weeks. Obviously, we play BA. We're going to play Page out of district or out of region, and then we'll play Henry County out of region. So beyond just a pretty challenging region schedule, we like to challenge ourselves with some really good football teams out of region as well. And we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to trying to play those guys as a measuring stick to get better. And I think overall, I've always said I think Williamson County is second to none in high school football. I think it's incredibly well coached. I think you've got a lot of good football players, and it's one of the things that makes getting to coach and work in this district so much fun, or coach in that region so much fun. I'll go ahead. If you got questions, feel free to fire away, and we'll do the best we can do to answer them. Yes.
Coach, can you talk a little bit? You mentioned your roster. Can you talk a little bit about your quarterback position? I know you had one of your kids transfer out.
Yeah.
Who's going to be your starting quarterback?
Okay.
And where's he coming from?
Right. So when we lost our senior, Gavin Strang, we project to be the quarterback, but he is, and FERPA laws, he's battling a prolonged illness, okay? So in his absence, okay, Parker Emerson, okay? Parker started as a safety last year, was really going to be a receiver. I ended up having to play safety. He was going to be a receiver this year. Incredible athlete, incredible young man. We've moved him to quarterback right now until we can get Gavin back, and has done a really, really good job. Just an awesome kid doing a great job back there. We'll expect it to be Gavin once we get him fully healthy. It's been kind of good in its own weird way because Parker and Gavin are kind of 2 different kinds of athletes, and we were kind of stressed, like how do we get Parker's package ready to go? But this illness with Gavin has kind of forced our hand, and so he's played the last 2 games. He threw 2 touchdowns last night against Nolo, and a month ago I did not have Parker Emerson throws 2 touchdown passes on my bingo card. So it's just kind of a unique thing. Yeah, so fortunate Gavin came up here from Lausanne Collegiate, came in January, okay, and this isn't the first time we've had one come in, right? And so the idea of getting those quarterbacks in January, where they're going through the off season, they're going through spring practice, they're going through summer, is really really huge, right? They have to build kind of everybody talks about the chemistry with the receivers. What I would say is quarterbacks better build a chemistry with everybody on that football team because they just naturally get put in a leadership role. Gavin made it all the way through the 7v7s before he got sick. So even though we hate that we've missed these weeks of development with him, it's not like he's going to have to come in cold.
Have you seen, or I guess give me your impressions of now that we're in this era of, the one-time transfer thing, just talk a little bit about how you guys may have, do you have a lot of guys that have transferred?
Yeah.
And have you had a lot of kids transfer out as well? I mean, what's your general thought process about this?
Yeah, so I was telling somebody the other day, and I think as a coach you have to start looking at literally, kind of what the net result is. So we were 5 out, 4 in, okay? So we were 4 out, 4 in for a long time, but we wound up we're -1 right now. But it's just what you have to do. I think probably the most challenging thing about the one-time transfer is you go, oh, well, you're losing players, but you're also going to pick up players. And what you have to do, I think, as a head coach in a football team is you have to find a way to integrate those new players in there. All right. And the weird thing about Brentwood, and I think Williamson County as a whole, is people move here a lot. So it's not something that is all of a sudden, bam, here, figure out transfers in 1 year. We've had to deal with this for some time. One of the biggest things is how do you evaluate those kids? Everybody wants football to be a meritocracy, right? And so if it's going to be a meritocracy, you better have a pretty egalitarian way of evaluating those kids. And so we just get those kids in, we give them reps, and we're going to play the best kids that we can play. Yeah, it's a little different now, right? I think instead of it being 1 or 2, it's going to be more. Some guys have a lot more out, a lot more in, but this is the world we live in today, and you better adapt or die, and that's just the way it goes.
Hey guys, Charles with the Williamson Herald. Specifically for the guys over here, Jackson and Barron, thinking a little bit on the defensive side here. I mean, for a long time, I've been used to seeing the Stockhoffs, the Childs, guys like that, and I know you guys were a big part of this defense. Tell us a little bit about the Brentwood defense and what it means to kind of be those leaders coming in here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for asking the question. I think we have some good chemistry on defense. Our team, we're close-knit. We do things outside of football. It's not just we come to practice and hang out together. We go places and build our chemistry together, and I think that's what makes us different than other teams. We have a close-knit relationship with a lot of the guys, even the younger ones. We want to bring them in and make them feel welcome. So, yeah, you have anything, Jackson? Man, you said it all.
Well, for Philip over here, tell me a little bit about just the dynamic of this team a little bit. What you guys have learned specifically. I know Coach mentioned a little bit about these scrimmages. What have you learned about the identity of this team, man?
Lot to learn, really. We've been here since January, and I feel like we've really bonded together and stuff, and kind of really excited just for competition and everything, and just we're happy to be out there and just play and just do the best that we can.
Coach, I know we've had a lot of unique changes in terms of regional setups here and everything too. Can you speak a little bit on your schedule here? I know we get several games at home right away, including that one big Region 1 against Summit, but just talk about this region a little bit, what your expectations are with the Shelbyville, with the Coffee County, teams like that we know of, but we're not used to sharing that region with.
Yeah, and I think in some ways, probably other than trying to figure out a way to get to Coffee County by 7 o'clock with the bus situation, it's fun. I think anytime you create a schedule as a head coach, there's a lot of moving pieces to that, and you want to find your out-of-region schedule. There's got to be a financial consideration. There's got to be a competition consideration as well. But we are kind of front-loaded on home games. But, it's what I know about this league, okay, is that, Summit and Indy and Ravenwood and Franklin, they're all incredibly well coached. We don't know a lot about, I could not tell you the last time Brentwood played Shelbyville, okay? But in some ways that's exciting, right? It's good to see new faces. And we scrimmaged Coffee County last year. And I think they wound up playing really good at the end of the year. I know they've had a coaching change since that time. I think there's going to be, in general, in most years, this thing comes down to the last couple of region games to kind of sort out your seeding going into the playoffs. And I don't really see that being any different this year. Obviously, you bring a new coach in at Ravenwood, or at least a new head coach in at Ravenwood. You bring Coach Blade back to Indy. I think, Coach Rodriguez and Coach Blade are going to do a great job. I think Coach Atkins has been doing a great job. Brian always does a great job at Summit. But it's just, again, it's good football every Friday. And then I think also what's really cool is that Friday night atmosphere that we get to experience there. But I would imagine, when you get down to what will essentially be week 10 and 11, there's going to be people kind of scratching and clawing to find a favorable playoff spot.
Hey, Coach, and guys, it's good to see you in person.
Thank
you. What are your thoughts on this year's Battle of the Woods? Just talk a little bit about that, and how are you guys looking forward to that this season?
Phil, go ahead and start.
The players.
No bulletin board material, Phil.
Well, obviously we play them every year, so a little chippy, obviously, but obviously we're excited. Got to go back to them, play them at their home, but we're excited to play them and hopefully come on top.
Again, I think we're just super excited. I think if we keep working every day, keep getting better every day, that's a big goal of ours, is just every day 1% better. I think if we keep getting 1% better every day, we'll have a good chance at them week 10.
As a team, I think we are all just ready to compete. Just very excited for the opportunity to play them again this year and just take it to them.
Let's see. I mean, you talked a little bit about it, Coach, but talk a little bit about kind of the new regions coming. Anything on Shelbyville and Coffee County that you're looking forward to?
I think besides the fact, again, that you're getting to play some people that you haven't played before, I think Shelbyville, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they were a quarterfinal team last year that got beat by Page. So that's a pretty good football team, okay, that we're adding to the region. And I think if you look at the end of the year, I think Coffee County, came on really, really strong at the end of the season. So I don't think, to be really, really honest with you, I think a lot of times you as a coach have to be careful that you get so focused on your WCS opponents, but now you have two non-WCS opponents that at least last year were either trending in a really good direction or playing really good football all year long. And so you've got to try to find a way to win every game you've got a shot to win, because if you haven't looked at the playoff seeding, okay, the way we are now crossing the pods over, your playoff position is really going to be important because you don't want to have to be going back and forth to Memphis for 2 or 3 straight rounds in the playoffs. So you better sit there and respect everybody you play each week. You better try to find a way to scratch out those wins if you want to kind of extend that season for a while into the postseason.
Hey guys, Joe Williams, WAKM Radio. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's early, I know. 2 quick questions. One, something that was said. One of the things that I've watched over the years that I've been around here, Brentwood typically just rebuilds. Names change, but the results are the same. And something you said earlier about we're trying to bring the younger kids in. Was that something that was done for y'all? I mean, were there folks in front of you that said, hey, you're a freshman, you're a sophomore, come with us?
Yes, sir, definitely. The 2 middle linebackers at my group when I was a sophomore, Max Arafis and Will Adcock, they did a great job of just bringing me in, making me feel welcome, and pushing me to be better. And every day I think about them, and I'm like, how can I do what they did for me, for the younger guys, for the guys coming in?
Coach, how do you keep that attitude replicated?
So I think probably one of the most used words that come out of coaches' mouths today is culture. Okay, I think it becomes a buzzword, but it has a pretty deep meaning when you think about it. I would hope that these guys would echo the idea that we talk a lot about. Hey, take care of those young kids. Someone took care of you when you were a freshman, sophomore, or a JV player. You need to do the same thing. We're blessed. Like, I'll be honest, like, we got really good kids, really good parents, okay? The joke I like to make is that I've been at Brentwood so long, I don't know if I can go teach real children again, okay? Like, I'm pretty spoiled here. But there's the aspect of you have to develop them physically as football players and with their skill. But at the end of the day, if there's not a positive sense of culture in that locker room where everyone feels they're bought in, you're just not going to be very successful. We have been incredibly blessed in the entire time I've been at Brentwood as a head coach and assistant coach that our old kids have always taken that very, very serious, okay? And again, I think that's a product of their raising, but we hope it's become kind of an integral part of our culture as well.
Last question. You talked about your schedule being loaded heavy. I just looked, 4 out of your last 5 are on the road.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some pretty big games in those 5. Guys, do you care where you play on Friday night as long as you get to put the ball in the air?
Yes, sir. Long as we get to hit people, I'm happy. So no matter where we play, I'm happy and I'm excited.
Coach, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Tyson Moody wouldn't let me live it down if I didn't ask you. I mean, obviously, special teams are always key for Brentwood and the success that you guys have. How's that unit looking as you go into 2025?
So that's another thing that, you know, we're just incredibly have been blessed with for year after year after year. So number one, Liam Englehart is a senior. He's our long snapper. You know, if you look at football just on a surface level, you don't think about the importance of a long snapper. But, you know, we've won ball games because we don't get punts blocked, and we've also won games because we do get punts blocked. And a lot of the times that is based on the long snapper's ability to get the ball back there. So, you know, obviously, and Tyson was a great one for us, and his brother was great for that. But Liam does a great job snapping it back there. He'll get to play college ball somewhere, and that'll be his specialty. Obviously, Keenan Fisher as well. Another really good kicker. Keenan will handle our punting and kicking duties this year. Ranked pretty highly. If you're kind of familiar with the kicking world, there's Cole's kicking camps. Keenan travels to a lot of that, works really hard. He's really high ranked. And again, I remember if we go back to 1994, and we're literally putting the square-toed shoe on an offensive lineman to go, you know, straight ahead, kick it through the uprights, and 50-50 was about as good as you had, you know, odds of doing it. It's really nice to have these kids that we have today and a long line of really successful kickers like Keenan that we know that can go out and get us 3 points and can make extra points automatic. So incredibly pleased with our special teams right now.
All right, any more questions? All right, gentlemen, appreciate you guys coming out today. Very well done, and best of luck to you this season.
Thank you all for having us out today. We appreciate it.
All right, now we welcome the Summit Spartans to the desk, led by Coach Brian Coleman. Coach Coleman led the Spartans to the 5A title in 2020 and runner-up finishes in 2019 and 2021. He is joined by seniors Jake Campbell, Carter Krasinski, and Michael Crutcher. Coach, give us an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
All right. Hey, guys. Thank y'all for being here. I guess this year, really, we're depending on these seniors. We've got a smaller senior class that these guys lead. I think we're going to have a younger team this year, so it's very important for these guys to lead by example and, you know, show the younger guys how it works and how to play on Friday nights, because a lot of these guys are going to be new to it. Very excited about this year. Had a couple tough scrimmages. We scrimmaged Pope John Paul, and yesterday we scrimmaged Riverdale. So very good competition just to see what we got, and came out healthy. So, you know, we're just trying to get better week by week and prepare for the Spring Hill game week 1.
All right, we'll open up to questions.
Hi, Coach Blaine Keller, Main Street Preps. Curious if you could talk a little bit about what you've learned since maybe the 2021 season about what it takes to have a consistent winner, to build a program that can win year in and year out, and what it would take for a breakthrough this year?
Yeah, I mean, consistency is the thing. I mean, you had to be consistent. You had to have a good program, have a weight program, from all year round, from January on through. So, it takes consistency with the guys, and it takes good leadership for sure. So, hopefully we can get the program where it was again.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about your experience so far with transfers coming in, coming out of the program? How many guys that you lost? How many guys that have come in your kind of general sense of this one-time transfer?
Yeah, that seems like a big topic of conversation. It really hasn't affected us yet. None coming in, none going out. So, I mean, we're a public school. We're coaching who we coach. Really not thrilled about trying to turn this into a college football deal. But, we'll coach who we got. I mean, I'm not going out recruiting kids. We love the kids we have. We're going to coach them up. So, not trying to turn this into a college football program. Could be. Sure seems that way. I guess I'm the old guy on the block now. I mean, I don't know. We're not a private school trying to recruit kids. We're a public school, and we'll coach who we have.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. This question's for Coach Coleman. Coach, you started out at Forest High School with head coaching. How did experience at that lower division, being a head coach, help you build a strong, solid foundation at Summit?
Yeah, that seems like a long time ago. That was probably 2014, 13. So it's been a while since that, but learned a lot that year. That was my hometown, so got a chance to coach in my hometown, which was good. Gave me a lot of experience, and just knew Chad Kirby, the AD at Summit. So we've known each other for a long time. We played like Little League baseball together, so that's quite a while. Had an opportunity to go to Summit, just a larger scale. Took that opportunity and trying to build this program up and be consistent.
And for Michael, you also play basketball at Summit. How has dual athleticism helped you grow athletically?
So I do not play basketball anymore. I switched over to track, but it helps a lot, like the workouts and, jumping and running. It definitely correlates to the football field.
Question for Coach and for the rest, Tom Krager with the Tennessean. Coach, how do you recharge in the offseason dead period? What do you do to recharge for the upcoming season? And then players, same question to you. How do you guys recharge for to get ready for an upcoming season?
How do I recharge during dead period? Get out of town, go to a beach, find some sand with my wife and family. I don't want to be too much, but me and my wife go for a week somewhere, and then we take the girls the next week. So we had one night in town for those 2 weeks. We're gone. We're getting out of Dodge and just to recharge. Like you said, it's a recharge thing. I mean, we're getting out of town, and we want these guys to do. I mean, they need to recharge too. It's a long season. I mean, we've been in the weight room since November. You know what I mean? It's a full-time job, and they need to get away from us. They need to recharge also.
During that period, I mean, just catch up on sleep, rest the body, don't work out that much, just wait until we get back in the weight room with Coach.
Yeah, during that period, your body's pretty sore. I lift a little, but just trying to get less sore,
I'll lift about 3 times a week, or I'll just go hang out with friends and just chill out the whole week. Yeah.
Brad DeShield, Dash Sports. How you doing, guys? Had a rough one last night, I hear. Let's talk to the players first. What are your expectations? You guys are the senior leaders this year. You got players looking up to you, that kind of thing. What are your expectations, and how do you relay those expectations to the younger guys that are below you? Because Coach said, "Hey, we've got a young team." How do you do that, Carter? How's that work, Jake and Crutch?
I'd say just lead by example. If you're doing something good, look, just your actions really a lot. Talking, I mean, you can talk to them all you want, but it can only go so far. So I'd say just your actions.
I agree. I lead by example, and if they don't do it, and I keep on trying to get them to do it, you just gotta dig into them a little bit and get underneath their skin, and then they'll start listening to you.
Definitely, yeah, lead by example, but also like be vocal and walk them through things because they don't have as much experience as us, so we kind of just need to walk them through certain things. And coached us to the point where we know what we have to do, but it's all about execution.
And these guys lead. I mean, Carter and Crutch are the safeties on defense, so they're the quarterbacks of the defense. They're getting all the guys lined up. They're getting everybody in position, and Jake being on the offensive line, definitely need leaders on the offensive line anytime.
Coach, looking down your coaching staff that surrounded you, you've kind of got a who's who there. You've got Melton, you've got Taylor, Collins, Ty Carter. I mean, you got some guys that are with some experience, a lot of football knowledge there. How has that helped you as a head coach evolve as a head coach from maybe when you started, having these surrounding pieces?
Probably added 10 years on my life. We've got a heck of a staff. I mean, Coach Melton's head coaching experience was the defensive coordinator earlier. Coach Taylor's been with it the whole time we've been at Summit. Added Paul Derrick this year, head coaching experience, just a great all-around human and just a great guy and a great coach. He just wanted to, step back a little bit, I believe, and it was a great addition. And now we've got two alumni. I got Cooper Cook and Ty Carter, which two guys that if you've been around Summit football, you know those names. And, they're legends in Summit football, just great guys too. And I think they identify great with these kids. The kids love them. So we've got one heck of a coaching staff for sure.
Coach Joe Williams, WAKM Radio. After a season when your athletic trainer probably needed PTSD therapy, how has this season started? I mean, are you still pretty healthy? And Jake, how difficult is it when those things happen? When you start seeing that many teammates go down, and you're having to, I hate to use the term, cobble a team together, but you got to make a lot of changes. How is that so far?
I mean, it's pretty difficult. You just got to get everyone through it and just focus on one thing and not let just all the injuries just get to all y'all. And it's just difficult.
Yeah, it was a unique season last year. A lot of injuries, a lot of new faces. So I think it'll help us this year, I hope, because a lot of guys were thrown into the fire, you could say. But it was unique. It was almost like the COVID year where you don't know who's going to be playing that week. So, but I mean, endured through it and shifted some things, weight room, sprint wise, just the deceleration type things just to strengthen the knees, and just we're trying to do everything we can to help these guys out. But sometimes it's just flat out bad luck. I can barely see you. You need to start eating.
All right, who's next?
Hey, Coach Charles with the Herald. Can you tell us some of these? I know we got some leaders here right now, but give us a breakdown of some of those other guys you're excited to see, what you've seen these first couple weeks, obviously, too, and just some of those names we're going to get used to for Summit football this year.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of a quarterback battle right now. We have a junior and a sophomore. We have Marshall Cooper and Davis. Davis is a sophomore, Marshall's a junior. So just looking to see who can step up and take on that job. Offensive line, we've got 3 seniors in the middle, 2 guards in the center. Jake being a guard, Harlan Lighty being the other guard. The other seniors are playing center, and Colt Baggett, he is his first year actually playing football, but he's doing a good job. So we need to lean on our offensive line, to lead us and to, they're the core of any kind of football team, I think. So, and really, Carter and Michael have really done a good job this year, man. There are safeties, like I said. We moved Carter from corner to safety, and our secondary is a difficult position to play, I think, and the safeties do all the work as far as the checks go. So, really going to count on these two guys for sure.
Fellas, Coach kind of alluded to that staff we got out here. Can you guys speak a little bit about just having all those guys lead you and what it's like having multiple head coaches on this staff for Summit? Just give us a little insight on what that's like working with this group.
I mean, I love the staff. I think they're great coaches because, there's so many of them too, but just they have so much knowledge of the game at a high level, and they just can teach you about anything. And if you have a question, they'll answer it instantly.
Coach Derek, he's the new safeties coach. Really grateful for him. He really prepares us, the safeties, a lot at least. And then, Coach Coleman and Coach Taylor both, they put in a lot of time. But just defensively wise for me, Coach Taylor, you can see the work he puts in, watching every week. He has a film report. He makes packets, and he definitely puts in a lot of work.
Coach Derek, great coach. He focuses on the little things, the small things that we need to do, and that's the most important right now because we're young, because we don't have as much experience. So just focusing on the little things like Coach Derek and Coach Taylor does. Film, they go over the film, they watch film, they study like no one else, and I'm really grateful for them.
Yeah, and it helps to have Coach Collins too. I didn't say him, but he's got a few years in the NFL, so the quarterbacks are getting coached up by a true NFL coach. A true NFL guy, and he's got a lot of stories to tell, and the guys really respect him a lot. And he's really a hard worker, man. The kids love him, and being an NFL guy it's unique because sometimes you think you would think it'd be different, but the kids like him a lot.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about playing in your region and the difficulty of the teams in it, and how good those teams have been, over the years, including your program as well. Yeah. Just and for the players as well, the night in and night out, every Friday night fight that you have to put yourselves in just to come out with claw out a win.
Yeah, it's a very good region. I would compare it to any region in the state of Tennessee. The coaching staffs are great. I think our region has at least had a semifinal team for the last how many years? At least I'd say at least 10, or if not a team in the state championship. So. The coaching is unreal. It's very good coaching in the region, and night in, night out. Now we've added Shelbyville and Coffee County. I know Coffee County, they did really not bad in the Rutherford County region last year, so they're not going to be bad. And Shelbyville, I think, lost to Page maybe in the semis last year, so they were a very good 5A team, and they came up, and they're traditionally a good football team. So. It like you said, it is tough every week to get in those top four. Even to make the playoffs. So if you're in top four in the region, you've got a good chance to advance in.
We have Ravenwood, Brentwood, always good teams. Femi, amazing quarterback. There's a lot of competition this year, so it's all about just going out there, giving it our best, and trying to compete with the best.
Definitely a great region. I think I played one of the 6A games last year, and I only got to play like 2 quarters. So hopefully this year I'm just excited to play in the games that actually matter. All the games matter, but really it's those 6A games for the playoff spots. So
definitely the best region out there. It's just great competition. You gotta love it, and just gotta be just got to be out there playing against them hard, or else they're gonna smack you right on your butt.
Just as a quick follow-up, can you talk a little bit about the tweak in the playoffs and how that, how that kind of factors into, the season, the regular season, how you guys approach it, and what your expectations once you get into the postseason of what that's going to be like.
Yeah, like you said, it seems like it changes every year, but at least staying in Middle Tennessee this year, I think will help. Years past, if the thing is, we just need to get in the playoff. You get in those top four. Like I said, the region that we play in is tough, and even the 4th seed has a great chance of advancing. I think 3 or 4 probably the last few years have made advance to the 2nd or 3rd round. So the level of competition we have, and then advancing on the playoffs is unique. And the matchup region we have now is a little bit different, but you're still staying in the Middle Tennessee.
Brian Maurice Patton with Main Street Murray. You talked about your staff a little bit ago. First week, you're going to be facing a former staff member. Talk a little bit about Josh Taylor and his ascent from your staff to where he is.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I coached Josh Taylor when I was at Marshall County High School in Lewisburg, so showing my age a little bit. He's a great young man. I'm glad he got the opportunity. He'll do well. The kids love him. I know the kids respect him. It's always fun, coaching against familiar faces. I know he'll do a really good job. He was on our staff. I don't even remember what year it was, but did a great job for us and wanted to go to Spring Hill and build something there. So I'm glad he's getting that opportunity.
All right. Any more questions? All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Very well done. Best of luck this season. All right, we are back. We'd like to welcome the Centennial Cougars to the table, led by first-year head coach Jay Graham. Coach is joined by seniors Mitchell Grandjean, Malachi Steele, and Colby Langford. We'll allow Coach to make an opening statement, and then we will open it up for questions. Coach, grab the mic. Thank you very much.
How you guys doing? Football as well. Since I started here, it's been about 130 some odd days, right? So when we first started here, had a meeting with the players, and just talked about the first stage of things is getting to know each other. So for the first couple of months, for the first couple of months, we spent time just getting to know each other and talking about what's required, what's requisite in order to have success. The first meeting, I think we talked about things that are desired or requisite for a player to do well, and what's requisite for our coaches to do well. So we talked about, for players, it was desire, having a certain type of energy every day when you walk in, being consistent, being aware of things and accountable for the things that we want to get better at, and also having a certain level of focus. We also talked about, for coaches, what was required. Just talking about being clear in what we want and how we want things done, and being able to describe and implement the culture that we wanted. So these guys have done a phenomenal job. These guys are leaders of our program, and they've done a great job as far as getting that done. Never easy starting off with culture. We talked about the sweet potato theory, and that's pretty much clearing the space and allowing, that space for us to grow. So we cleaned up the locker room. We held each other accountable, swept the corners, talked about everything as far as locker room, how we dress, how we act. All those things are important as far as establishing culture and what's important to the team. So I know a lot of times we start with football, but I think it starts with that. And it's also, as a coach and our coaches, getting to know our players, and what's important to them. So that first phase of getting to know each other is key. I think. And, we had some growing pains. We worked hard. We ran a lot. We lifted a lot. We did that stuff that's really important. We know we had to pick up heavy things if we wanted to get stronger. So we continue to do those things. So the off-season program, these guys did a phenomenal job of being there first, showing up, being responsible in that way, and doing the things that are required to get us to this point. So very excited about our team, our coaching staff. We got coaches that have NFL experience, probably somewhere around 12 years in NFL experience, over 130 years of coaching experience. We got coaches that played at Tennessee. We got 3 coaches, Montario Hardesty and Jack Jacobic and myself. I played way back in the day, but I guess it's still relevant. But we got coaches that played at Memphis, but just also we got coaches that went to Centennial and understand what that means. So when a player is standing on the field, he can relate and understand, all the things that are required. So we're very excited about our coaching staff and what they bring to the table. The one thing that's important to us is to have that, to care, right, and to be a great coach and a great communicator. So that's the only way we can articulate the vision and make sure they understand the vision of where we want to go. So all our coaches do a great job of that. We strain and we work hard. With that experience comes getting on the same page too. So, the more you know, the more words you have, and the more we got to get those words honed into our words. So it's been a lot of that. We had coaches meetings, a lot of conversations about what's important. And I've been coaching a long time, coached in college, but we got guys that have a lot of experience in this county that I rely on, a lot of experience in the area and in high school football. So we sit around and we have a lot of staff talks about what we want to get accomplished. So we're getting there, and now we're in the phase of growing together. So that's practicing hard. Football ain't fun because it's easy. There's some hot days, and I think it's important that we motivate each other. The guys sitting at this table, they inspire me every day. I've been doing this a long time, but I can say for certain, with all certainty, that every day I come to work, I'm excited. They are excited, and they just give me that energy, that extra energy that I need to just keep rolling and keep coaching. So where we are right now, just looking, we're returning, let's say we lost 6 starters on offense, somewhere around 5 and 7, right? You would say 7 on defense. So, we got some guys that gaining experience. So there's a lot on the practice field we can get done, right? So we say that all the time. We gotta win on the field. We try to put them in situations that are game-like. I coach defense, so they see a lot of stuff. A lot of different things offensively, and on the flip side of things. So we try to get some good on good so that we can get game-like reps. And guys have been practicing hard. We've been trying to teach those or treat those reps like they're game-like. So situations have been good. The big thing for us is just improvement every day. What are the things that equal up to winning? Let's do that, right? Whatever that is. So, we work hard at doing those things so when we get to the game, it's easy. So, the key for us, we got starting off with Stewart's Creek. We got some away games, so we got to make sure that we're ready to go. So the scrimmages have gone well, and practice has gone well to this point.
All right, let's open it up for some questions.
Coach, can you talk a little bit? You mentioned, your experience as a college coach. You got a lot of assistants that either have played at the college level, professional level, and so a little bit about the inner workings of how college life is, particularly when it comes to transfers. Can you give me your sense of what you've sort of experienced just from the high school level of the high school's the one-time transfer, and if there's any correlation to that with the college game. I know Coach Coleman talked a little bit about he wasn't very interested in having high school kind of turn into a college game with those with the transfers. I mean, this is your first year at Centennial. Can you kind of give me a sense of how you and your coaching staff have kind of navigated that so far?
We know in this environment and what's going on now, there will be transfers. We understand that. We don't actively go out and deal with, some people are recruiting and doing it. That's not what we do. People check in and enroll in our school, we coach our students, and I think that's the key. It's out there, and you say that, in college, it's a different process, right? But, it's two different sides to it. If a young man has things that he needs, resources that, a way to access that, like whether it's, being in a certain system or being in a certain culture. There's a lot of different things that go into that, but, I think it starts with, kids going for, academic reasons or things that are more important than football, right? If you're a good football player, right, they're going to find you, and making sure that they get in the right environment, though, the right culture, the right school, in order to have success. There's a lot of different things that goes into or factors into going to college, and I think from that side, I see that, like academically, having the resources that you need to do well, being in the right school that pushes you to do well with the right teachers. Coaching is a part of that. Football is a part of that. But just like any student, I think it's important that they have everything they need to have success.
Have you guys had some kids come in, transferred in, and have you had some leave as well? And how do you, as a coach, approach those kids that have come into your program? As you kind of get, because you're getting acclimated to these kids just like they're getting acclimated to you guys, but then on top of that, you may have a transfer that's coming in that's also getting acclimated to a new school. How have you approached those kids that have come in to the program?
Kids have left the program. I hugged his neck and said, anything you need, I'm going to be there. I wasn't there at first. It's just sometimes that doesn't work. It doesn't work out. It's not because of playing. It had nothing to do with that. It was just the situation, right? What they had been through to that point before I got there, right? He was like, I think it's time for me to make a change, right? Just to see if there's something out there that can, maybe jumpstart him, I guess. So I hugged his neck and I said, hey, good luck to you. The whole time he told me early, the whole time I'm like, hey, lift, do everything you need to do, because at the end of the day, we talking about kids. We want to help them. It's going to happen. But, if we all have the mindset that we're trying to help kids and trying to help them get where they want to go, then I think it'll work out. I think if we do the things right, I think guys will want to stay here. We do the things we're supposed to do and strain every day for our kids.
Coach Tom Krieger, Tennessean. You're new to Middle Tennessee, Williamson County. What's the biggest surprise you've seen in Williamson County, and then of course Williamson County football in general? What's the biggest surprise you've seen so far?
I would say like this right here. This type of environment. When you say it's like the SEC, right, in the state, it is. Just the energy and the love for football is something that's cool to see. So I'm excited about it. Just talking with all the different coaches, and everybody's like, hey, Williamson County is different now. And I'm seeing that. So I'm excited about it. Everything's new to me. Like, I'm trying to park in this parking lot. I was trying to get here. I'm like, let me figure this out. They're like, you need to get out and run in. So I'm figuring that out. So I'm just excited about the energy around it, around football. And that's the thing I love. I just want to be around people excited about football.
Players, how easy has it been getting accustomed to the new new structure of everything from the culture change to the change in offense and defense. What's been the biggest, the easiest thing to adjust to? What's been the most difficult thing for you guys to adjust to with new coaches coming in, probably brand new schemes that you're learning?
Yeah, okay. I would just say, like, on the offensive side of the ball, just the help from all of the coaches and the experience they have to tell us, like, where we need to be and what we need to get done. And just, like, the culture-wise, it is definitely a huge difference from last year. And, like, that's just starting with the little things, like Coach Graham starting, like, right off the bat, cleaning the locker room floors. And then, like, making sure there's no food allowed in the locker room. And, like, the little things like that. And, like, we have a lot more coaches this year that are in the school building with us. And, like, I think that makes just a huge impact on, like, the culture. And, like, makes everyone be on top of what they need to get done because there's coaches there to make sure it's happening.
I think the easiest part is, like, adapting to the culture is probably, like, practice. Like, the intensity is up. You know, it's better than last year. I feel like last year was, like, less sense of urgency. Now it's, like, as soon as you go on the field, just run, be active. I probably think the hardest thing was, like, probably the conditioning. You know, college coaches coming in, you know, the conditioning was a little rough in the heat. And then you just have to have endurance and push through everything. And just coaches there to lift you up. And then offensively, the plays became easier because we ran over it like a million times. Defense, same way. So it was just a great time to have these coaches.
I don't think anything's been too difficult, but spending time together, you know, the coaches really push us to get out there, you know, outside of football and hang out and enjoy and spend time with your teammates. And that's been a huge part of learning everybody and knowing who they are and, you know, getting to know them on another level.
Hey guys, Blaine Keller with Main Street Preps. Question for Mitchell here. We're talking about this one-time transfer thing, and you did kind of touch on what the process has been like for you with the new staff here at Centennial. Can you run us through what that whole process looked like from you coming from Page, and then maybe how these coaches have involved you in the offense?
Well, the process has been really easy. You know, Coach Graham, you know, took me in, and I mean, we kicked it off right off the bat. You know, we came in, you know, we're watching film together, we're learning the offense, we're doing a bunch of things, you know, and he's teaching me a lot, you know, and with his knowledge in football, you know, I'm learning a ton from him, you know, especially with his experience at a college level, you know. There's so much more to football that I knew, you know. And you know, it's been really easy. The guys, you know, the teammates, they took me in, and you know, we kicked it off. You know, we've been hanging out, spending time together outside of football, you know, creating that relationship. And, you know, even in practice, you know, that builds like trust, you know, and all that type of stuff you need. You know, getting in here, it was awesome. I took a chance on Coach Graham because of his connections and his knowledge and, you know, where he's headed with this program.
Coach Graham, can you kind of talk about your impressions of Mitchell and the, you know, connections that he talked about just then?
Well, first and foremost, Mitch is a phenomenal leader, and that's the thing that I love about him the most. Whether it's tough things, right? It's not always easy, you know, not always perfect, but he comes in with the same energy, you know, from day one. Has been a leader, you know, on the field. He's got a lot of leaders and a lot of guys break down huddles, but when it gets hard, right? When it's tough, you got to lead, and he's done a phenomenal job of that. So, you know, that's the first part of things that was needed. You know, these guys up here have led, but when you're quarterback and you're a quarterback-driven team and your quarterback's a leader, it changes the team. So, just really excited about what Mitch is going to do and what he's done so far. It's been phenomenal.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. This question is for Coach Graham. Coach Graham, we see a lot of coaches in the state have quarterback as what they played in high school and college. So I got to ask you, with that not being your story and newest head coach in Williamson County, what do you feel like you bring to Centennial?
So you asked about not playing quarterback, you said?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of quarterback coaches, and we have a quarterback coach, but there's a lot of coaches that have not coached that position. Like, I coached kickers for years. I didn't kick. I was a running back. I can kick a little bit, but punting and kicking. I mean, coaching is coaching. I mean, it's teaching. Is making sure you teach them to be the best they can be. It's setting a standard. It's motivation sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into coaching. But I've been a student of the game for a long time. I just love watching tape. Love learning about people and learning about players, learning about football. So that's been the easy part now. It's taken some years to do that now, and I still love coaching running backs, even though I don't. Coach Steele back here does a great job, and I stay out of his way, but I still come down there and go, hey, how the drill's going? So, what was the second part of your question? I want to make sure I answered it.
Basically, what do you hope to bring to Centennial, being the newest coach?
Just energy. I try to have the same energy and come out with a level of focus and passion about everything. It's just about teaching kids. I'm not just a coach. I like involving and helping kids get where they want to go. It's very important to me. So, hope I can add that to Centennial High School and into this football program.
How far can you kick, Coach?
I don't know. I mean, they say I can kick pretty far. I don't know. I mean, I used to be able to kick farther, but I've lost my flexibility in my left hamstring. I'm left-handed, left-footed. So, I don't know. I'd say about 45 yards. I wouldn't say average. I'm talking about if you gave me 10 kicks, I'm gonna roll one 45 yards, okay? Rugby kick.
We good? Okay. Coach Kevin Warner, Williamson scene. Just talk a little bit about what did you know about WCS beforehand, and what's been the most surprising thing that you've learned coming here so far, and maybe the most surprising thing about your team as well?
Yes. I asked some of my old teammates, about the area, and they were like, yeah, this is the area when it comes to football. And, I was like, oh, okay. So it doesn't really give you an idea until you see it, right? Until you see it. And I listen to the parents, part of our booster club and all the people around our program, they're like, it's different now. And I'm seeing that. I see that in how we do things. I see that in the preparation towards, getting ready for the season. So I guess my teammates were right about that. I just didn't know how that was going to go. So far, I can see how big it is.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate you guys coming out today. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Williams has a question, so.
And this one's kind of important. It's an observation and then a two-part question. One, the observation. I noticed on a social media post that next Friday they're having a dunking booth at Centennial.
Yes.
And that I promise you, Altman, Rector, and Glass are going to get wet one way or another.
Yeah.
But I also observed, Coach, you're not on that list to get in the booth.
Well, I will have my headsets on during that time, and we don't want to mess those up.
Well, my next question was, guys, let's say we came out early, a little off record. If Coach got in the booth, how much money would the team spend to get a shot at him? I mean, I think it opens at 5, but we could do this at 5. I'm sure I could talk to those guys. We can get this done at 3:34, man, before you got to put the headsets on.
Whatever it takes. And I'll tell him. And I'm getting him in first shot. Tell you.
Yeah, he's getting in the tank for sure. 1,000%.
They love you, Coach. Yeah. I can feel the love. All love. Good fundraiser. Yes.
Coach Maurice Patton with Main Street Murray. Talk about the administrative change that's taken place since you got there, and what impact, if any, that's had on what you've got going on?
Yes, there was changes, and it was different because in your first 100 days that usually doesn't happen. So you get a little afraid of that. So but we're just working hard, and it's kind of like let's wait and see. But Dr. Clarissa Heyman has been phenomenal as principal. She's done so much and comes in with a level of just energy and passion that I love, So that's always good to me. Like the first time we sat down, she would just wanted to know about it. And every once in a while she'd text and say, how you doing? How's everything going? And I'm like, man, that's pretty good. And some people, when they walk in the room, they just make you feel better. And I think that's something that's really important. So the change has gone well. Obviously, Miss Dyson, but it's been really good. It's been phenomenal, and I'm excited about working with her every day. So she's always like, you better bring some energy. You better bring your A game when we walk in the building. So I feel that accountability that's set. I feel that there's a bar set for us as far as getting to that, and I feel like she loves football. And she loves every student in that building, and that's important to me.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate you coming out today. Hope you guys have a great season, and thanks for being here. Take care. Stage led by Coach Scott Stidham in his first year at Nolensville and his fourth year overall in WCS. Coach has a 92-67 record, including a 13-year stint at South Gibson. Coach is joined by seniors Josh Hicks, Trey Walker, and Oliver Bender. We'll open it up with an opening statement from Coach Stidham, and then we'll take questions.
Thank you, Coach Whitlock, for having us. We're really excited to be here. Appreciate WCS and what kind of separates us from the other places around the state to allow things like this. Probably one of the hardest decisions we had to make as a coaching staff since we've been there the last 4 months was which 3 seniors could come up here, because we have a whole lot that deserve to be here. But these 3 are unbelievable teammates. They're great football players and better young men. So it's hard. We started on April 14th. That was when we were hired and got to meet these guys, and we had to hire coaches, so it's been fast. But change is hard when you're a senior in high school and you got a new coach. But I really appreciate these guys, how much they have bought in. Our senior class has been great, along with our younger guys, and we're just excited. And let's see, a week from Friday, it's on, and I know these guys are ready.
All right, we'll open it up for questions.
Hi, Coach. Blaine Keller, Main Street Preps. Just curious, you've had a couple of scrimmages under your belt now here at Nolensville. What are you trying to kind of imprint on these guys for your first year?
I think the number one thing, we want our kids to play hard and play the game the right way as unselfish teammates. And they continue to do that and buy into them. We've shown them some film of things we need to improve. We've also shown them a lot of films of things they're doing well. And the progress we made from a week ago to last night was a lot. And we need to keep making it, to continue to progress. We started late. We've hired coaches late. We had coaches coming in the middle of spring practice. So we feel like we can be a really good team on August 22nd. But we hopefully by November we're even better. And we think we got a really high ceiling because of that.
Yeah, has it felt like a fast process for you then when you mentioned all the stuff that you're trying to get, implemented quickly?
Well, I think the Friday before dead period is the first time I finally got to move in the office, and got everything unpacked, and we're still finding things. So, yeah, it's been fast, but these guys and their teammates have made it a lot easier for us.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Coach Stidham. Coach Stidham, you were at Indy before Nolensville, so I got to ask you, what led you to stay in Williamson County?
I just feel very blessed to where I am, and very excited to be here. I think Nolensville's a special place. I was blessed to coach against Nolensville in the very first varsity football game. And so we came in 2016, and Coach Hester, when they only had freshmen and sophomores, and it might be the greatest atmosphere I've ever coached in. I've coached in front of bigger crowds, but the game day was there. They parachuted in the game ball. I don't think we do that every week yet, but all those things, I fell in love with Nolensville High School. And then to get to know these guys more and more, it's something special, the location and everything that we have.
And then the next question is for all the players. You play such tough competition in 5A. I guess, how is your division, and obviously more than just Page, help prepare you for playoff runs?
I think our competition is good, but I like just playing them because I feel like when we get into off season, it's just like you go against such hard teams, and it's you win or go home, and you gotta have the love for the game when you're playing that. And I think that our team has the love for the game more than anyone does. And I think that when we get in that situation, we're gonna come to the top.
Can you repeat the question, please?
I said, your team plays tough 5A competition more than just Page, even though they get all the glamour because of their state championship appearances. How has having such a tough conference schedule prepared you for playoff runs and other success during the season?
I think that like the tough competition that you're talking about, and all the teams, they prepare us to like take on tougher challenges and like last longer in games and be able to play hard throughout until December if we need to.
He's asking a question. Yeah, to piggyback off of what Trey and Oliver said, just the opponents that we play, like each and every week, they just prepare us for the playoff run we're about to go through, and it's just amazing competition to get us ready.
For the players, I mean, Coach having the experience he has in Williamson County already, being at Indy and now with you guys, what's he brought to this program that maybe, is different from what you're used to under what Coach Derek had been doing?
Well, Coach Derek did a great job, but I think Coach Stidham brought a spark to Nolensville that was just needed because he just reunited things. And I remember the first day of spring practice, it just felt like a different environment. It just it felt alive, and just everyone wanted to be there, and everyone wanted to see each other succeed, and it really felt like a family. Like it felt like a true football team.
I agree with Oliver. Coach Derek was a great coach, but when Coach Stidham there, day one, he brought that intensity and that energy that we needed, and it really like brought our team back. And I feel like they're so invested in us that we're gonna play hard for them.
Just to say what they said again, it was the energy that we needed. It brought everyone together, and the coaches push us every day, especially Coach Stidham, to like do our best, and it's gonna translate on the field.
For Coach, I mean, you take over a program that has such steady foundation from what Coach Hester did, Coach Derek, and you got a great senior class around you. How much easier does it make your job in the first year with this program to have that foundation laid out already?
Really easy. Coach Hester and Coach Derek are two of my good friends, so I got so much respect for them. And I sat down with Coach Derek a lot the last month of school when we were both in the same building and picked his brain a lot. But this program is there, and we just want to continue to take it to the next level and continue to build on what Nolensville football has been.
Coach Charles with the Williamson Herald here. I know we got these guys here. Give us a little intro to some of those other guys we're going to really get to know here, some of the guys are excited about what we've learned from this team, and just overall, like some of the outlook for some of these players.
Sure. I think last night, just thinking after watching film already this morning, Jimmy Marzullo's an outside linebacker and tight end that played really well, really physical with us. Our offensive line continues to get better. Zach Little's a senior that did some really good things, and we have some juniors in there. If we started today, Ryan Newell will be our quarterback. We're excited about him. Tristan Lithmasai. Whew, took me 2 months to get even close, but Tristan's another good running back that we're excited about. And then Andrew Ryan, Dalton Odell are good receivers. Kason Boer. We have a lot, and continue to build on those guys that continue to get better.
Guys, overall, we're getting this vibe of just a different kind of excitement level here. Can you speak a little bit on just the identity of this team a little bit, some of those thoughts, what you guys are trying to do? Just how would you define this group and what it means to be, going into a new year and kind of starting a new chapter here for Nolensville?
I think that whenever Coach Denton brought in a whole new coaching staff, and we have Coach Manderfield, Coach Tomlinson from last year, they're invested in us and bringing out like a hardworking, like tough, gritty team that's gonna play hard for them and hard for each other.
To kind of repeat what I said earlier, the coaches put so much into us that I just think everyone believes more than they have in the past, and I feel like everyone actually believes when they say we can make it to state and we can do all these things, and I believe it, and I know everyone on the team does. So
yeah, to kind of say what they said, it's just like the energy they bring, it pushes everybody to want to become a true brotherhood. Like, we want to play for each other every play, and it's great, and it's going to translate on the field.
Any more questions?
Coach Maurice Patton with Main Street Murray. I'm looking at your coaching staff, and I saw the name Richard Coor. Now, is that the former Whites Creek coach? Richard?
His son.
His son. Okay.
Yes, sir. Coach Coor. Coach Coor and I played at UT Martin, and so did he, and we missed each other by about a semester, and didn't even know Coach. He lives in Nolensville, has 2 kids that are at our school. So it's really neat. We got all these coaches that have kind of fallen in our lap. My wife says like manna from heaven that came down for us, but really good coaches. A lot of them already lived in Nolensville. I think one thing that makes us special, and we have the Williamson County resources, but we're a one-school town. We're the school that has everyone in 37135 goes to Nolensville. And so that's something, we're going to put that on our helmet. We're going to play for our city and represent something that's kind of unique in this area.
All right, one last one for the student athletes here. Is there a game you have circled on your schedule this year?
I don't think we're really worried about that right now. We're worried about week 1, August 22nd. That's what we're worried about. We're going to take care of business at home.
That'll definitely be a good game to open up with. I think Lebanon's a tough opponent, but I think all the preparation that we've had and just everything that we've done, I feel like we're a better team, and we'll definitely show it.
August 22nd, that's all I'm worried about.
Coach, you have trained these kids well. Best of luck this season, and thanks for being here today. Eagles to the desk. They're led by Coach Scott Blade. In his second stint with Indy, 2-time state championship coach, including 2015 with the Eagles. He's joined by seniors Hunter Mullen, Wyatt Young, and Siler Green. Coach, we'll have you make an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
All right. Well, thanks for having us here today. We're excited to be back and get a chance to talk with you guys. It's been an incredible last, 8.5, 9 months for us. These kids here and our team has had a great off season, a great summer, had a real nice scrimmage yesterday. We're really excited to get this thing going. We call it Indy 2.0. It's our second time around. We're different but the same. And we're just excited. We're excited to see what the good Lord has in store for us moving forward this season.
All right, we'll open it up for questions.
Hey guys, for the players, first off, what you made of Coach Blade since he came back, and obviously brought in some new members of the staff as well. So how's the coaching staff been getting ready for this season?
It's been real good. I really enjoyed this past few months with them in the off season, growing, getting to know each other as a team, and we're getting ready for the season, and we're excited.
Oh yeah, just to go off that, I love Coach Blade, man. Just the passion and aggression he brings to the game, and yeah.
I agree with Siler. I'd say Blade pours into a lot of knowledge in us, and leadership's important. So that's what I have to say.
And Coach, I wanted to get a little from you on the scrimmage last night, positives you saw out of that, and kind of things you're taking out of that game.
Well, we haven't broken down the film yet, but what we're
kind of using that was our first scrimmage. We tried to use it as a dry run for a game day preparation. So that includes the special teams, that includes sideline management, that includes our film system, our community headsets. So there's a lot of things that I take in a scrimmage that I'm looking for. Might be different than some. I look for schematically, we didn't break down any film on them, so it was just, shoot from the hip. We're still in our preparation phase, which means we're working on us. So I was happy with what the kids were able to apply, what they've learned, execute really pretty high level for our first scrimmage. I was excited about the excitement on our sideline, as well as the excitement in our community. We had really a great turnout of support for our first scrimmage. So that's when we look at what our goals are. There are steps along the way, and that was the next step in our development as a program and building up the type of excitement and atmosphere we want.
Yeah, and last one for me, you brought on Kurt Beathard to the staff. Kind of how did that come about, and what's his addition done for the coaching room?
Kurt I've known for years. As many of you know, his dad was a Hall of Fame GM. Met him back when I was in San Diego 30 years ago. It goes back now. Kurt I've known for 15, 18 years. Really my whole stint here since I moved 19 years ago. And we've always had a great relationship. He's always been someone that's, when he recruited my players, kind of like Jeff Parker. Jeff Parker is part of my staff. He's an incredible coach as well that's been around. And those guys are guys that I love it. They're at the point where their ego is checked, and they're just, it's between the three of us, there's over 100 years of experience. That's incredible to have those conversations, right? So in our younger coaches, so in our office, man, these are some great conversations that we have, and that's what I value the most, is just having conversations with guys that have been there, done that at different various levels throughout their life and career, and it makes the meetings we have entertaining and very, very helpful, very fruitful.
Hi, Coach. Blaine Keller, Main Street Prep's got a two-parter for you. Spending last season at Lipscomb Academy, did that spark you to get back into a head coaching role? And curious what you just took away from that time at Lipscomb Academy.
Yeah, the last 3 years have been a great time in our life, my wife and I's life. We've had a lot of changes, and that was a time that was much needed. Getting back into an assistant coaching role was something I hadn't done in over 20 years. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the time. I enjoyed a little bit less stress, if you will, than being a head coach. And it also kind of lit the fire that, I can do this one more time. This will be my fifth time I've taken over a program, and it's the challenge was one that I thought, I got one more of these, in me, and from there the attitude and the energy has been where I needed to be, and just excited. Every day I go to sleep thinking about these kids, and I wake up first thing in the morning thinking about these kids, and how lucky I am to get one more shot at, hopefully getting a lasting memory and have a great season and a great future for them.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the second stint here? What's changed for you? What's changed with independence? What's changed with maybe the high school football landscape? What's been the biggest change for the first time that you?
The first time we inherited Rashawn Golden and Vic Wharton back in 2013, and so some of you guys know these things, right? These are some fun times, right? And so you had these two elite athletes that really, with a small senior class and a small junior class, because Summit had just opened up, and so you had this environment of we're trying to, and they didn't make the playoffs the year before. How do we continue or start something special? And those two guys really bridge the gap, all right? And they set us up for future success. And then you go on, and and the culture started building. So you asked me what's some things that have changed, right? And I'm a big believer that I'm still a culture guy. I've been blessed to have been a part of 3 different championship experiences, right? And all 3 of them, the common theme was there was an incredible culture, right? And that includes the parents and the fan base and the school, the administration. That's all the above, right? But definitely an incredible culture within the team. Now, I do believe high school sports, you're talking about how things have changed, I do believe high school sports is the last frontier for that. Okay, so in college football, I played college football. I understand that, and it's a business now, and you are an employee, and I get that. But this right here is the last time, like I said, the last frontier, and it's fading. It is absolutely fading. So while I still think I can hopefully rebuild a program based on culture and kids that want to play at Independence, time will tell what that means and if that idea still works. But so in returning, that's what I believe. I believe in this community. I've lived in this community for 15 years. I love my community. I love the school, my family. All 3 of my kids, graduated from Independence. I've had tremendous memories there, and I feel like it's like almost an obligation to come back to my community and try my very hardest to make sure these kids leave with incredible memories.
You mentioned that change. When you look at high school football, and you look at, for instance, the one-time transfer, do you kind of look at that as one of those moments, those kind of crucial moments that maybe changes? You talk about building that culture that changes that sort of moves you in a direction that you're unfamiliar with.
Absolutely.
That force you to adjust.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure how, I have not been hit with probably the negative parts of that yet, but all you can do is build the program, that I would want my kids to play in. Surround them with coaches that the moms and the dads are, trust and love and know that they have their best interest in heart, right? And then but I don't know what's going to happen. It's all brand new. All I can worry about is we got, we had a good scrimmage last night. We got another scrimmage next week. And really, that's all I care about. And making sure these kids are healthy, making sure they're having fun, making sure that they're making good decisions in the classroom. And that's what I'll still bank on, for me, that's me. And if it's not good enough, it's not good enough. But that's what we're going to build our program on.
Coach Joe Williams, WAKM Radio. Welcome home.
Joe, good to see you, buddy.
You may have answered this question already, but I'm just wondering, with the return of Scott Blade, will it be the return of Eagle Air on offense?
Oh, yeah.
Maurice Patton with Main Street Murray, Coach. And with that said, have you ever coached a quarterback as tall as Matthew Horner?
We had Nate Longshore at Cal Berkeley. You guys remember Nate? He was 6'6", big guy. I think he's coaching tight ends at UNLV or something now. But that was back in like 02, 03. But in recent memory or the last 2 decades, no. So that we're excited to see these quarterbacks. But Matt's doing a great job for us.
What kind of advantage does that give a guy?
Well, as you can see, Seiler's not exactly a midget over here. No, don't say that. That was not politically correct. It was Seiler is, he's Seiler is a big boy. So you can imagine 6'6", he can see over the big boys, right? He can. So as far as vision, that's a big help, right? Is having the vision. to just see through the forest, right? The forest through the trees type of thing. So I think, and then I think that's probably the main thing with him, being that tall.
Hey guys, Charles with the Williamson Herald. For you players specifically here, we think about how last year started, how tough that schedule was, just seeing these championship contenders night in and night out a little bit. Talk about coming into this season with that refreshed energy, having the coach leading the way. Give us a little insight about just what it means when we line up officially on August 22nd, what it's going to be like for Independence football.
Well, to be honest, I think we're trying to just erase last year. We're focused on the now. We're going to take it week by week, play as best as we can, and we're ready to get started.
Yeah, going off that, just flushing last year down the toilet, just forgetting it. Focused on this year. We'll be ready to go week 1, and I think all the guys are ready and excited to really actually hit somebody, tackle somebody. Yeah.
I'd say it's very exciting, starting out the year. It's our last year together as seniors. It's our last ride, so I'd say it's very exciting.
I've been asking the coaches a little bit about their excitement level on some of the newer, fresher faces or things like that. But for you players, for you leaders out there, give us a little, some of the other guys you're excited to play alongside, guys that you think are going to have great years, things like that. As this leader group, give us some names to know in terms of Independence football.
Well, as a senior class, we've all been together since freshman year. I've been playing with some of these guys since Pee Wee. I've been playing with Hunter Mullins since we both played for the Spring Hill Hawks together. He's going to have a great breakout year. We're all really excited for this new offense, new defense. We're excited.
Yeah, I would say since I'm a defensive guy, I got to say Blaze Katina, man. He's a big dude. You obviously saw what he did last night with that pick 6, just batted the ball right at the line of scrimmage, took it to the house. I'm really excited.
I'd say Torrey King, he's coming off an injury from last year, and he's really excited to get back. He scored a touchdown last night, so I think he'll help us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the big picture is a lot of these guys don't have stats. It's not one of those years where Nate Johnson's returning with 1,300 yards, right? Andrew Bunch just threw for 3,000 and he's returning. So there's a lot of unknowns, and I'm looking forward to seeing there's guys that don't have any varsity catches or varsity experience. So I think the jury is out on really the whole bunch of them. On what they're going to do and when they finally get their chance. And so that's what's exciting because it's the unknown. And it reminds me in a lot of ways of the 15 team. We had come off a 6-5 season, but there was no real, you never knew how good they were going to be. They didn't know how good they were going to be. That's the same thing with these kids. They're just trying to set a standard moving forward, and every bogey I've put out in front of them, they've attacked and conquered, right? And so the excitement there is they don't know how good they can be. We don't know, okay, because there's not a ton of film on them that says this is transferable or this is what we can expect. So I'm excited about the whole team, just to see who steps forward, who rises up, when they get their chance, who makes the most of it.
All right, one more for the student athletes. Is there a game you guys have circled on your schedule this year?
In my opinion, no. We're ready to take it week by week. There's no one on our schedule that's more important than any other. We're ready to win every game, take it 1 week at a time.
I'd agree with Seiler. I don't think you should treat any other game differently. I think you should treat them all the same.
All right, Coach, you got them well trained. Yeah. Know the right thing to say. Thank you guys for being here today. Best of luck this season. All right, we're going to welcome the Patriots to the desk. They're led by head coach Charles Rathbone, and his 13th year as head coach and 23rd overall at Page. Coach had a record of 122-44, including 4 straight state championship appearances. Coach is joined by seniors Knight Wilson, Jacob Rathbone, and Jordan Curl, who are all committed to play at the college level next year. Coach will open up with an opening statement and then take questions.
Well, first I just want to thank you all for being here. It's always a great event, minus the parking. But you know, it's another season. We're very excited. We're anxious to answer all the critics, all the people that are talking, all the people that are saying that Paige is done, we won't get back, and all that stuff. So these guys have been focused. They worked their tails off, and they're anxious to show what kind of team they could have, minus Hazard and Ains and those guys. I mean, obviously they're great players, but they're not the only players. So, I mean, these guys are anxious to get back, get after it, and kind of shut up some of the guys that's been tweeting and talking and run their mouths. You know, some of these guys haven't even got out of a region championship, and they want to talk. So hopefully we're going to be ready to play and get after it. We're going to be a physical team. We're going to be probably a little bit more athletic than we have in years past. So I'm anxious to see these guys get on the field and perform. And hopefully they represent not only Paige but Williamson County very well in everything they do. So we're excited to put them out there and let them showcase their skills.
Coach,
all right.
Can you talk real quickly about that? I mean, obviously that's gotten under you guys' skin a little bit. How much are you guys ready to sort of, like you said, prove everybody wrong?
Well, I mean, to us, if you look back at the last couple, we've been in 4 straight, right? We feel like we should have won 3 of the 4. The 2 years ago against West, they were the best team in the state, and they deserved to win that. They blew us out. And if you look at the games, it's really self-inflicted wounds. I mean, it really is. Last year in 14 games, we had 10 turnovers. We go into the state championship, we have 4. 2 years ago against West, we had 13 penalties. They had 0. Last year it was 14 penalties. They had 2. So we just got to clean up our game, and not to blame the officials. We just got to clean up our game. I think these guys get to that game and they try so hard. They want to please everybody. They want to put their best foot forward. And we all know when you try so hard, sometimes you step on your own toes, me included. Okay, I've made plenty of mistakes in those games as well. So, I mean, these guys just got to relax, play their game, be themselves. You know, be who they are. Let them, you know, come back and showcase their character, their integrity, and I think we'll be fine. Whether or not we get there or not, who knows? I mean, Beach is really good. I mean, Centennial, I think Centennial's to pick to win, right? So, I mean, I think we got a lot of tough roads ahead of us, but we gotta take it one game at a time. And whether we're there or not, I think this team's going to prove that they're going to be a force to reckon with.
Have you guys kind of sort of kept score of people who have been talking, people who have been, you know, whether it's on social media or whatever? Are you guys conscious of that? And is that in the, maybe not even in the back of your mind, is it in the forefront of your mind?
Well, that's the great world of social media. Sometimes you don't know who it is, you know, and that's the problem. You know, I know one of my favorite coaches all time, Arthur Smith. He used to talk to the Titans about this, and he said he's not a fan of social media or whatever, because he said everybody's brave behind a keyboard. Everybody's brave when they don't have to show their face. Everybody's brave when they don't have to take responsibility for the things they say. And that's kind of what we're seeing, or what we saw after the state championship. And I was nothing but proud of those guys. Listen, we didn't win, but to be there 4 straight times, to play 60 games in 4 years, to represent Williamson County for a 4th straight year, just the integrity that they show, to sit down at the end of that game, to have the class integrity for these kids to initiate a prayer, you know, something that no other team in the state championship, whether they won or lost, initiated and did with a team because of their beliefs and how strong they are in their morals. I mean, to me, that's special. And to me, that's what it's all about. And it's about having a purpose in your life. It's not having a purpose on the football field. We all got that purpose. That purpose is do your job and win the game, right? But what do you do when you graduate? What do you do when you're 10 years down the road and you're a father and we were just sitting out there talking to a family that's got 22 grandchildren. What do you do when you're at that level in life? What are you going to do when you and your wife are struggling to put food on the table? Hopefully that never happens, but what if it does? And to me, that's what this program is about. That's what we're going to represent. That's what we're going to try to help these young men grow in doing every single day. So as far as taking that, I wish we could. I wish I had a notebook with everybody's name down and all the other stuff. It's just not nowadays. I mean, I have no clue who Night Kingdom 24 is. I mean, you know, so it doesn't really help.
For the players, I mean, Coach mentioned it. I mean, it seems like every year we're saying Paige is graduating, this Division I prospect, this Division I prospect. You guys yourselves are Division I prospects, but for a lot of us, we still see you as a team that can compete for a 5A pro title. What's coach and the rest of this coaching staff to talk to a little bit about how they've developed this program into a mainstay in the 5A stage?
I mean, they just really keep us prepared, give us the mentality to keep going. When it feels hard, just keep pushing through.
We always say every week that we're going to play Page. So it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a team that's 0-10 or 10-0, we're going to go out, we're going to play Page, and we're going to do our job. It's going to come out in a good way.
I feel like it's kind of like a testament to how good these coaches are at developing and the kind of mindset the players bring, especially the upperclassmen, how we work on trying to build the next class, the next generation, and help the Page winning culture live on.
And I would say, you know, in Williamson County, there's always been a big push for student-led, right? And I think any coach would tell you the best teams are your senior-led teams or your player-led teams. When coaches have to lead, obviously you're forcing them to do something they don't really want to do. And over the years, we've been extremely blessed that we have been student-led, we have been player-led. I don't really have to do a whole lot, to be honest with you, because if they're not running hard, these 3 are going to be on their butts about running hard. And not only them, I could have brought 10 guys up here that would have represented Page High School well. Sean Cunningham, I mean, all those guys. I could have brought Caden Ackerman. We could have brought more guys, and that's a testament to these guys, not me. I mean, trust me, it's nothing I'm doing. I'm the same coach I was 13 years ago when we were 8-3 or whatever we were. So it's really a testament to that level. Hazards, building the Jakes and the Knights, but it goes back to Jake McNamara and all those guys. And that's really what's been special about kind of this run that we're on. And because it's always about players. If you don't have the players, if you don't have the dudes, it don't matter how good of a coach you are, you're going to lose. I mean, it's just that simple. So the winning takes care of itself. These guys' character, you know, obviously starts in the home. That's really what has turned Page around.
And one position group, I think, that just looking back at last year and seeing the guys develop into this year, the running back position group last year was really strong for you guys as the year went on. Isaac Odie flashes a lot last year. This year, I saw a video of him yesterday. He looks massive now. He looks so much bigger than he was last year. How's that group looking as we head into the new season?
Really good, and I'll let these guys, you know, we always talk about the quarterbacks and those guys, but it really starts up front. Are you good up front? And that's going to be if you can run. But Isaac has worked his butt off. I mean, he's up to, 205 pounds. He's still elusive. He's more physical. He sees last night he makes a cut in the hole, makes a guy miss. I mean, he's one of those that can get lost in a phone booth. So, and, you know, Colt Brown is back as well. So we returned all of our running backs from last year. We also had a kid that moved in. We're excited to see what he can do just as soon as we get him eligible and all the other stuff. I mean, he's an exchange student. So we're excited about our running back group. We're extremely excited about the quarterback group. We got 2 quarterbacks. That's my hardest job right now is choosing who's going to be a starter because they are so close. They've both done such a great job. But make no mistake about it. Anything that any team does starts up front, and that's how football is. How it'll always be.
Yeah, guys, Blaine Keller, Main Street Preps over here. Coach Rathbone, I know you just said that a lot of times it's more so what these players do and less about what you do. But I had a question for Jacob and Jordan. How involved has Coach Rathbone been in your development, especially you, Jacob? I mean, whether it's in the position group that you're in or just football as a whole, can you kind of talk about what an impact he's had on you guys?
He's had a huge impact just making us better. I think we have the best O-line in the state, so he really pushes pressure on us to keep going.
Yeah, he tries to stay humble, but during practice, he's always walking around. He's a former offensive lineman himself, so he's always helping us out, teaching us the technique that we need to know. And in terms of him being my dad and his development of me, he's helped me more than anyone else. We kind of have a rule where we don't talk much at home about football. We try to keep it professional on the field and then family off the field. But sometimes I'll bring it up, and he's really helped me with my better understanding of the game.
I would say I was blessed to be an All-American my junior and senior year in college. Both these guys are better than I am. I mean, and I'm not just saying that. That is true. They're both more athletic. I'm not going to say they're more physical. I mean, I wouldn't say that. but they're definitely more athletic, and they work harder than I ever worked. To be honest with you, it's a different generation. Every day after sprints, these guys are lining them up to run more sprints. And it comes back to that senior leadership, that player leadership. So these guys they're fun to coach. Coach Wolf does a great job. He's their offensive line coach. He's phenomenal. It's hard for me to stay away from that group, and that's kind of what I'm drawn to. I was not a great kid in high school, so in the school I'm drawn to those kids that struggle. The ones that struggle, they don't want to be there. They're the ones I really want to go help. On the football field, I'm drawn to the offensive line. I don't want to be back here with the squirmies. I want to be in here with the beef and watch them push people around and get after it.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Knight Wilson. Knight, you're one of the senior leaders on defense. You're used to the leadership role, but how much of an extra emphasis are you going to put on being a leader now that you're a senior?
Yeah, we kind of just always follow our rules of Coach Temple. It doesn't matter who we have on the field. We're always going to each play our own keys, and we're going to fly to the ball. Every day we start off our defensive team period with pursuit. That's everybody flying to the ball, getting to the offensive player, and as everybody's rallying and doing their own job, we're going to have a phenomenal defense. So we have a lot of leaders on that defense. You got Sean, you got both these guys playing both ways on defense. So if we can be back there and just lead all these guys and get them in the right spots, and we all play together, we're going to have a great defense again.
And then next question is for Coach Rothbone. Coach Rothbone, you played both ways in high school, O-line, D-line. How do you feel like winning the battle in the trenches is so crucial for your division?
Yeah, back many years ago when I played, everybody played both ways. That was just the way it was. It's kind of like a new thing for these kids. They're not used to being both ways. But I think that creates a little bit of a toughness that you need up front. And we pride ourselves in being tough football players, being physical football players. So last night when you watch these guys get after it, they're finishing blocks. We got Bass, who's finishing at center over on the sideline of the opposing team. That's a pride factor. That's an effort factor. That's something that we want to be finishers. We want to get. That's why these two are getting looked at by so many colleges, is because they're not just getting their block, they're finishing their block. They're getting after people. It's effort. It's all about effort. And we have 8 guys right now that are doing that. So to me, that's I don't want to sound Neolithic and like an ogre, but to me that's pride. When you can physically move another kid against his will, and run the football whether they like it or not, then you got something pretty special. And that's I feel like we got several of those guys up front.
Kevin Warner, Williamson scene. I'm going to talk to everybody, but all you guys are committed to FBS Division I programs. But Knight, I first want to ask you, what made you want to commit to Air Force and take on a challenge like that? And have you? And to the other guys, how important was it to kind of get that recruiting stuff out of the way to focus on this season?
Yes, sir. So main reason I picked Air Force, I had a lot of FBS schools to look at, just kind of visiting and going around. But I went down to Colorado Springs earlier in March, and when I went down there and just saw the culture, everybody there, they treat everybody equally. So actually, when you're living there your first year, I'm not even living with a football player. I'm living with another cadet on base. It's just being part of that culture of a university where everybody's just all together, and being able to play football at the highest level and honor my country was kind of something I couldn't miss. The reason I got it done in June was just because I knew it was my time. I was ready to make that decision, and really just getting to dive in with these guys around me, these seniors. All the people that go on to play the college or the NFL level, they always talk about how special that senior year is. So really just getting to dive in with these guys and focus on my season.
So pretty much getting it, it was a big thing for me to get the commitment out of the way before season started. And Central Arkansas is not my biggest offer, but it's somewhere where I feel at home, and I feel like I could develop for the next 4 years. I really like Coach Boykin. But the biggest thing to me is I want to go somewhere, and I want the chance to start early. I just love playing football, and that is a big factor to me. But yeah, kind of like what Knight said, it was a big thing to get that out of the way because I just want to enjoy my senior season. I've known these guys for so long. Jordan, 3 years, and I've known him since we were little. So I just want to enjoy this last season with them and hopefully go win a gold ball.
I committed to WKU because it just feels like home. I had a good connection with the players and coaches, just really felt home. And then committed early to go ahead and not focus on commitment to have a good senior season.
And I would think they're probably all pretty hard commits too as well. I mean, I could tell you the recruiting, having to take him all these places. We went to East Carolina, Bowling Green, all those places. It really, I think for all of them, it came down to where they felt like at home. We visited Air Force too, and it was unbelievable. But some of the things that they throw at these kids now, throw around now, is it's incredible. So it's hard. For me, I was more confused than they were. I was like, holy cow, how can you pick one over the other because they're throwing so much stuff at you? So, I mean, it's pretty special. The other thing that everybody probably, I don't know if it probably does realize but don't want to admit, that if you don't get that commitment in early, then they're going to look to transfer portal you or somewhere. So you better get locked in somewhere pretty quickly, or they're going to replace you pretty quickly. So I think that runs through the mind of not just these three, but all these teenagers nowadays. I mean, the high school kids going up and developing, it's a thing of the past for right now. I mean, because there's so many transfer portal kids, and it's a shame, but it's really hurting all of our high school athletes.
As for Coach and Jacob, I mean, obviously you don't want to look too far ahead, but this final run together is, the father-son duo. And Jacob, you mentioned you don't really talk football at home, but what's this run been like these last couple of years with how much he's been able to play and just seeing him develop not only to the football player but the man he is now?
Well, I mean, I'm obviously extremely proud of him. I mean, started 45 games for us. Me and my wife have spent a lot of time crying about it. We realize we got 5 months. He leaves in January. He's going to be an early enrollee. So, I mean, obviously just the level of proudness I am of him. But ultimately, he and I both agree that we kind of got to put that aside and we got to make one more run and have the best senior season. I mean, I owe it to these kids just as much as I owe it to him, to hold him accountable, to hold him accountable, to hold him accountable, to hold all of our kids accountable. But I promise you, I'm going to take every last minute and enjoy it the best I can. But I'm pretty close with all these kids, especially these three. So, I mean, it's going to be rough when that last whistle sounds for me.
It's having a father that coaches you is a unique experience in many ways. It has some good things, it has some bad things. But these have been some of the best years of my life. It's just playing football under my dad. But of course, the job's not finished yet. We still got one full season, so we both want to get a championship. So we're gonna finish out these last few months strong, and then we'll be pretty sad when it's over.
All right, are there any more questions? All right, thank you, gentlemen. Great job today, and best of luck this season. All right, we'd like to welcome the Franklin Admirals to the desk, led by second-year coach Josh Adkins, coming off a 6-6 campaign in year one. Coach is joined by seniors Santino Bruno, Cameron Higgins, and Noah Robinson. Get it right? I tried. All right. Coach, we'll take an opening statement and then questions.
Yeah, first I want to apologize for my voice. We had a scrimmage last night against Rockville, so I was hooping and hollering from freshman to the end of the JV. Obviously, I want to thank the Williamson County AD Coach Whitlock, or I guess now just AD Whitlock, and Williamson County for hosting these media days. It really sets our county, separates ourselves from the rest of the state as far as what media day should look like. Obviously, I want to thank Mojos Tacos for allowing us to be here. I mean, their food's great. Every time I come here, I try something new, and I never say I don't like it. So, I just kind of want to talk about last year. last year's team was a senior-heavy team, winning 3 games in 3 years, and kind of rally and go 6-6 and win a playoff game. That was a special moment for those guys. And for us looking into the upcoming season, we started off-season training. There was a lot of question marks. I mean, we graduated 9 starters on offense, about 7 on defense, but we had some guys, to the left and right of me that played some meaningful minutes last year. Were in the rotation to make those kind of plays. And so for me, it was, how could we kind of take that next step? And I'll kind of give props to, former Coach Hester, now Principal Hester, and their strength coach, Coach Q. They had a meeting called about Feed the Cats, and, they got Feed the Raptors, and we're now Feed the Fleet. And so maybe not like a born-again religion, but just how we focus on speed and recovery. And you've kind of seen that transition. The kids are excited, we're healthy, and we're faster. Everybody on the team has gotten at least 1 to 3 miles an hour faster, even LT. Last night he hit 22 miles an hour in pads, and during the off season, I think the fastest he got was a little over 21. So, for us, that has allowed us to see, if it's going to be those rising seniors or juniors, are they going to be able to compete? Or, we had a very young and talented freshman team that now sophomores. They've been in the mix and trying to compete as well. So expectations are pretty high for us. We're healthy, we're eager, and we're ready to go.
All right, we'll open up for questions.
For the players, we'll start off. The last 2 times I've talked with Coach, he's come in with a raspy voice because he's hooting and hollering, and you just show so much passion. For you players, I mean, how much does that mean to you to know that this coach and this coaching staff in general, they're putting so much time and effort into turning this program around? I mean, just even after year 1.
Yeah, it means a lot to all of us, and we can see how much time they put in. I mean, they're there early in the morning to late at night every day, and it means a lot to us. It makes us want to play for them harder. It makes us, I mean, they're really respectable guys. We just want to make them proud, do what they want. Yeah, it makes it real easy to play for them and play hard.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say the same thing. Like, when we see their effort, it makes us want to try harder, and it's a good feeling knowing that they're putting all their time and effort into us. And I don't know, it kind of just brings us closer as a team, is what I would say.
Really what they said, but I would say it keeps us hungry. It's the most important thing.
For Coach, I mean, we kind of talked about it last year. It felt like this program was a sleeping giant, just needed to be woken up. Seems like that started last year with the wins and the postseason win as well. What's that next step need to look like?
I keep reference, with our team always making that climb up the mountain. And so, 6-6, right, was the base camp of last year's team. And so, I've challenged them, but more importantly, they've challenged themselves to have a better, regular season success and make that postseason run. So, for us, it's to be better than 5-5 and to be, try to get out of that second round playoff for this year. But we don't, at the end of the day, we focus on the little things. I mean, from how we tie our shoelaces to, what's our first step, what's our first read, what's our assignment, and let the big things like that down the road take care of themselves for sure.
Got 2 for you, Coach. First off, follow up to what Joe said. Is that easier or tougher to do than what you did in your first year?
That's a great question. I would say, a little bit of both, because of the situation where, the kids understand the new standard, right? Like, we're changing the culture. We're into year 2, right? The honeymoon phase is kind of over. They know what to expect in the weight room, on the field, watch the film, expectations, etc. So it makes it a little bit easier for us as coaches because they know the new standard. But at the same time, it's harder because you want to keep having that success. I think, Coach, I keep calling him Coach, but Principal Hester now said, success breeds success. And so it's just having that success to know the expectation of what Franklin football can be and will be.
Yeah, this other one, a little bit of a fun one. Ask Coach Straub about that week 2 matchup you've got coming up. He kind of downplayed it, but what message do you have for him and going up against the Green Wave?
Oh, I mean, Coach Straub, when we were scheduling, and that's my first time doing a schedule, so I was sweating bullets, and he actually was calling because Centennial had called to try to play them and try to set it up, and I said, well, I got a week 2. I was like, do you want to try to set something up? He's like, she's like, let me call you back, and then a couple minutes later, he's like, sure, we'll play. I was like, can you come down here first? And He's like, sure, and then he got Centennial squared away, but I'm excited. I mean, I spent 5 years at Gallatin. Coach Straub has got an amazing team, and his son's an unbelievable quarterback. So I'm excited because that's two, programs that have, historical success, and so it's going to be kind of good because, the Green Wave is going to travel down and pack Howard Gamble Stadium, and our fans do well to pack home games. So it's something, that we're excited about, but like Coach probably Straub was saying, it's just another game that we just got to line up and play.
Was there a Coach Straub impression in there? It sounded like you were trying to do something through the raspy voice.
Oh yeah, well he has his voice is a little bit more tuned to it. He's been a head coach a lot longer than me, so I'm still I've been looking at like T's and stuff like that to try to get my voice back. And I teach history classes and stuff too, and I mean as I teach is how I coach. So my kids are interjecting in the classroom, so it's like, when am I not supposed to talk? So it's something I'm trying to figure out on the fly for sure.
First question is for Coach Adkins. Coach, you just went through your first season in Williamson County football. What did you learn from that experience, and what are you hoping to continue to grow and improve on?
Like for me, it was, I thought I was prepared, being in the military and an assistant coach for, 7-8 years in different, aspects. And I learned that always be, ready for the next unexpected thing. You think you've got everything covered, and here comes something new. You're like, well, this is a new hurdle. But I like it. It keeps me on my toes. And it keeps the players on their toes too. Like at practice, I'll have a sudden change, or I'll have it scripted out, but then I'm like, I just don't like our intensity or something, and I'll do something to see how they react to, because the game of football is like that. Like it could be a sudden turnover, or we need lightning field goal on the field because we have no timeouts and the clock's running down. So it's having that, readiness state of like you just never know what's coming, and be able to adapt and react on the fly.
And then the next question is for players. Your team had great improvement last season. How do you keep on moving that in the right direction?
I just think the first step would be the upcoming senior class needs to really step up, because we did have a lot of seniors graduate and a lot of starters, and it's important to us to fill that role. And some of us played last year, a lot of us been maybe 2-year starters, just being able to influence the younger people and keep it going and keep that mentality.
Another thing I would say is that we got some younger guys that are really going to have to step up. The freshmen last year, sophomores this year, but there's a lot of gaps to fill, and I think that we got a bunch of young guys that are really capable of doing that.
Coach Tom Krager with the Tennessean. Is the beard bigger this year? Is it, and how much bigger will it get? Is there any chance you might trim it during the year? I mean, it looks great.
I appreciate that, Tom. It's a little bit longer. I try to keep it trimmed. I got my hair cut. I was like, well, I know I got the media days coming. I better get my hair cut. I hadn't had a haircut in like 4 months. I was kind of looking a little shaggy, and the wop was really kind of on me. It'll probably stay this length. Back when I was in Afghanistan, and a bunch of friends of mine, we were talking about, I had to shave twice a day because the 5 o'clock shadow would pop up by lunchtime in my military career. And so we always joked that when we got out, we would never shave again. And it's been 10 years, and I've not been clean shaven. And I tell our guys, the going rate is 100,000 cash or a go ball. So whichever comes first, I'm not going to shave. And so they take that challenge, wanting to shave the beard. So, but yeah.
In the meantime, what product do you put in?
Product, it's a bearded groom. It's actually, I can't remember the name. It's I get my haircut and trimmed over here in the factory. I actually kind of talk to them. I tease it a lot. My wife gives me a hard time, because if I don't, it gets out everywhere. So definitely got to have product and comb it down for sure.
Fun question for the players. You're at Mojos Taco. What's your favorite food here at Mojos, or what's your favorite Mexican dish?
I usually go with the puffy tacos here. That's what I go with here.
I normally get the puffy chicken tacos.
I'm gonna go with them. I really like the puffy chicken tacos.
Puffy taco chickens it is. Players, it's been a while since this program had figured out how to win games. I mean, the last few years you guys have been on the cusp of winning a lot of games. You guys kind of went over that hump, 5-5, got in the playoffs. what did you learn to finally get you guys over that hump and to win that tight game that prior the team had been losing?
I think we learned how to keep the momentum and close out those close games.
Yeah, I think one thing is we've just learned to go till the very last second, very last play, the very last drive, whatever it may be. Because I think in years past we get the lead maybe, and then we'd, loosen up, get lazy, and then lose lead, lose the game. And I think with Coach Atkins, he's just kind of helped us fight to that last second, strive for perfection in every play down to the last one.
And yeah, I don't think it was ever the lack of skill that we had. We've always had players. I think it was just that flipping mentality that really got us going.
All right. Do we have any more questions? Coach, didn't expect to get too many hair questions today, but congrats on that. Anyway, best of luck to you guys this season, and thanks for being here today. All right. We are ready for our last team of the day. We welcome the Ravenwood Raptors to the table. In order to not show bias in my former position, I made them go last today. So they're led by first-year head coach Ricky Rodriguez. Coach Rodriguez takes over the reins after serving as an assistant for 2 years. His overall record is 42-28, including stints as a head coach in California. He is joined by seniors Maverick Chance, Femi Babalola, and Matthew Anderson. Coach, take an opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's an absolute privilege to be able to represent our school, our community, and most importantly, these three young individuals and their teammates. Before I get started on my diatribe about these, I do want to give a shout out to Coach Whitlock and Coach Hester, former colleagues and co-teachers of mine. To see them make their transition into their new profession. You guys are great young men, and we miss you guys, and I know you guys are going to crush it in your new ventures, so I'm happy for you, coaches. 2025, it's been a whirlwind, to say the least, since May. Just incredible, going from the success that we had as a girls flag program to that very next day, me being named the head coach and replacing a guy that I consider a legend in the middle Tennessee region. But these guys have made my transition as smooth as possible. We're blessed with 40 plus seniors this year, and every day that I've got to spend with them this summer has just been a continuation of the 3 years that I've got to spend with them as an assistant coach. I think the thing that separates us and has made this transition as smooth as possible as well is just the culture is established at our high school. I think that's what separates us from a lot of other schools, and it has nothing to do with any coaches. It has to do with the young men that play in our program, and we're looking forward to this season. Excited for the first time in our school's history, to be able to travel out of state and go take on a powerhouse program in Madison Ridgeland Academy. We got a tough slate, right? Green Hill, great program coming off a 10-0 regular season. Obviously, getting the opportunity to compete with a private school like CPA and Lipscomb Academy, who are recognized around our state as two of the perennial powers. And then we have what I consider the toughest region, in the entire state of Tennessee. All of these programs in Williamson County have fantastic coaches, have great players, and it's going to be an exciting journey. And to be able to walk side by side with these three young men, we're anticipating it very much. We got a lot of work to do. I know there's been a lot of projections and things that have been put out there in terms of what we're going to be, and what I love about this group is, we're not looking at that stuff, to use a coach's cliche, right? We're day by day, but I think they would all agree that we're nowhere near where we want to be. We're nowhere near where some of those projections are at, but our hope is that we can get there. Couldn't be more excited, and this is about them. So I'll let them speak on whatever you guys want to.
Maverick, we'll start with you. For me, I find it kind of interesting following all the recruiting around the state and just kind of how the service academies have really hit up Middle Tennessee in general. I mean, I know we talked to Knight Wilson last. He was going to Air Force. And Mise Denayan at Green Hill's going to Army. You're a Navy commit. Talk to us a little bit about what went into that decision to commit to the midshipmen.
Like, when I went up there for the visit, they kind of just, they really made me feel like I was meant to be there. Like, all the coaches were super nice and welcoming. And then, like, also, they're one of the best schools in the country and really good football team, like, projected to be in the playoffs this year, so able to compete with the best of the best.
His name is Maverick Chance, guys, and he plays quarterback. The kid was destined to play quarterback at a service academy.
As a Notre Dame fan, I see players like you go to Navy and succeed all the time, so I wasn't too shocked when I saw the commitment. And Femi, for you, Boston College, they land you another great academic program that, I mean, your two quarterbacks are going to great academic programs, Coach. That's got to be big for you. But why Boston College for you?
Well, I feel like all the schools I visited, I feel like that's the best place I had. And I had the best relationship with the coaches there as well as the players. And I feel like it felt like home the most, and that's what's most important to me. So that's why I picked there.
And Matthew, I know we talk a lot about the offense because you have two really good quarterbacks here, but the defensive side of the ball, you guys were really strong there last year. How's that side looking right now? What are you expecting to see out of that group this season?
It's looking great. We've got a lot of experience coming back, just dudes in the secondary, defensive line, linebackers. We've got a lot of depth at every position, especially not only defense but offensive-wise. So, I mean, we're just working in practice every day. It's just competition every period, and we're just getting each other better. So big thanks from this defense for sure.
Hey guys, Blaine Keller with Main Street Preps. Question for Coach and for both of the quarterbacks as well. With Coach Rodriguez kind of stepping into this head coaching role, have things from the quarterback spot been similar? I mean, is that system really pretty much the same as last year, or has that kind of tandem changed at all?
I mean, we're going to be switching off like last year. I was asking last year if I could get in on receiver or defense when I'm not in at quarterback, and now Coach Rod's going to let me this year, I think. So.
Yeah, and I'll let Femi follow up on this, right? I mean, we're probably in the most unique situation, I know for sure in the state of Tennessee, but potentially in the country, right? Like, you walk into a head coaching position and you have two high-level Division I quarterbacks that, honestly, I mean, Femi can play multiple positions as well, right? I'd be dumb if I didn't consider having both of these guys on the field at the same time. So, you know, that is kind of the plan, but also they make the offense go, you know, so they're the catalyst. I think our offensive line trusts them both enough to where we don't have to change up anything schematically when both of them are on the field. So, yeah, we're not giving away any secrets. I mean, Maverick's going to be on the field at all times, and who knows? I mean, Femi might be on the field at all times as well. So,
yeah, just piggyback backing up what Maverick said. I feel like nothing really has to change that much, and what we got going on and what we had going on last year really helped us. And I think just Maverick being able to play wide receiver and DB just can help us take us to the next level and get us over the hump. So.
Hey guys, Kevin Warner, Williamson scene. First off, Coach, what's it like having to, you know, coach these different positions now as head coach, and what are some things that have stood out to you and to the players? What's it like having coach now? You know, coaching the different positions, and how has that changed this year for you guys?
Yeah, I think for me, I'm like you bring up the word coaching. Like I feel like I haven't done a lot of coaching in the last 3 months, to be honest with you, right? I've taken kind of a program manager approach. Obviously, my position group still remains the same. But what my role has allowed me to do is kind of have my hand involved in both sides of the football. And what I really love, right, is getting the opportunity to allow our coordinators to kind of be the head coaches of their side of the ball. But in practice, heading over to the DB drills, seeing what they're doing, right? Seeing what Matthew and the linebackers are doing. So, I mean, it's been great to see, and I think the kids kind of appreciate that a little bit more, because really the only times that these guys got to hear my voice was, in an offensive meeting, right? Whereas now I feel comfortable and the coaches feel comfortable enough for me to come over and, speak to their position group. So I think it's great. I love my role, and I look forward to seeing how the season progresses.
So remember the question was, how is it the transition to me being that coach? Yep.
We all were really close with him before. I mean, he obviously was offensive line coach last year, and a bunch of us had a bunch of classes with him and all that. And the transition, he brings a whole lot of energy to practices and games every day. He holds everyone to a very high standard, which I love. Not much slipping up around. Everyone's held to a super high standard, so we really like that, and it builds discipline within the team. So, yeah.
Charlie Bateman, Williamson Herald. First question is for Coach Rodriguez. Coach, you were a head coach in California, now in Tennessee. Is there any difference with being a head coach in California and Tennessee, or not at all?
Huge difference. And I mean, I don't mean this as a slight on my former state at all, because the two programs that I had the opportunity to lead were fantastic from a community standpoint, right? But as I've said, and these guys know, right, it has been my dream to come and coach high school football in the South, and the reason behind that dream is just the Friday Night Light atmosphere, the community piece. I mean, you walk into our stadium on a Friday night, and I'll use the Battle of the Woods as an example. I was in awe. You see 4,500, 5,000, 6,000, however many people it was my first year at Ravenwood. And it was incredible, right? And for my family to get that opportunity, for my kids to see it, I mean, that's what it's all about. And I think the most special piece, right, was to experience that with these guys. My first day on the job as an assistant coach at Ravenwood, these guys were freshmen. It was the spring of their freshman year. So to see their growth as young individuals, as athletes, to go through all the highs and lows that we have as a football program the last 2 years, that's what makes it special, right? And obviously, I think football is a little bit of more of a priority in this region of the country. And just the resources that you get, especially at a public school like Ravenwood. Our boosters, I mean, we have parents that are sitting back here right now watching their young sons up here, and they do more behind the scenes than anybody. And I'm so grateful for that aspect. It's allowed my transition into this position, to be very smooth, and I'm forever grateful to them.
And then for your players up there, your team going into the preseason is considered a top 5 program in the state. Is there a lot of pressure with that, or do you welcome that pressure?
That's what we expect. I mean, we know how good we are, and we know, there's pressure that comes with that, but we definitely welcome it.
I mean, I'll say the same thing. I think we're the number one team in the state, so it really doesn't change any factors with how we go out, every day and how we play. So it's what we expect.
As a team, I feel like we don't really even care about the rankings. We're just going to go attack every Friday night the same, treat everything the same. It's just another football game, so rankings really don't mean anything. You got to prove it every Friday, so.
Hey, players, real quick, speaking on coaches, just the way he speaks about the game, speaking as a head coach a little bit, can you guys kind of expand on just what it's like hearing him speak about how passionate he is to be on the sideline and share it with you guys, and just what it's like been for these last few years seeing him become this? Just talk about that relationship, how it's grown, and how that inspires your guys' play.
Coach Rod, he's kind of wild sometimes, but so he brings energy to practice every day, and he holds everybody to the same standard. Like, it doesn't matter if you're Femi, me, Matthew, or if you're like just a little sophomore. Like, everybody's held to the same standard.
I agree with that. Kind of like what I said earlier. He holds everyone to a super high standard, and as players, we try to hold everyone accountable. Not only him, but us as players, we try to hold each other accountable. So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe Coach Rod, from the first time I met him, has been the same person. Didn't really matter what position he was in for real. I feel like he's, held us to that standard even when he was offensive line coach to now when he's head coach, and hasn't really changed. Always brought that energy every day. So.
Question is for Coach and Maverick. I think, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I think, Maverick, you sat out the last two scrimmages. I think I heard maybe like some sort of finger injury. Is everything okay? Is it just precautionary, or will he be good for the start of the season? Is it just, hey, there's no reason to play him right now, or what's the status?
Yeah, I think it is more precautionary, right? I mean, we know what Maverick Chance can do when the Friday night lights are shining. So Mav's going to be fine. We're going to take it day by day, and you guys are all going to see him on the field on Friday nights in the very near future. Anything that you want to add?
Coach, he got it right. He got it. He's good.
And guys, you're at Mojos Taco. What's your favorite thing to eat here at Mojos?
I always get the Baja fish tacos.
I actually didn't get the opportunity to eat yet because we just had mom's camp, and I got here about 20 minutes ago. So I'm excited to explore the menu after this.
I got to go with the 3 Baja fish tacos. Can't beat it.
I'll go with the fried shrimp tacos. It's my favorite.
Thank y'all.
And Coach, for you, we kind of talked about it at Media Day when you had your linemen with you at that point. A lot of senior leadership on this team, over 40 guys. To come into like an established program that Coach Hester really built up these last couple of years in particular, and to have this group around you senior-wise, how much easier does that make your job going into the year compared to if you were taking over a team that was about to rebuild?
Yeah, well, this situation is very different for me, right? Like, I think if you ask people about my career in California, it was more viewed as being a builder, and taking downtrodden programs and kind of building them back up, where now I'm in a situation where it's already established, right? And I think what makes my job easier is the standard. We talk, you guys have heard the word standard a lot, right? Like, we don't have a lot of rules and stuff in our programs, right? We have what we consider standards, and that standard has already been established. And these guys, we look on our wall in our locker room every day, and it says 2005 and 2015, right? There's been some highly successful programs at Ravenwood High School in between those years and after those years, right? And I think they're hungry to put, 2025 on that wall. So in terms of the culture, these kids set that, I talk to them every day about player-led programs and how the championship caliber programs are player led, I should have very little to do with this success, right? And I wholeheartedly trust this group of 40 individuals that they know what we're about, right? So every time we show up to practice, there's a certain standard that we have, right? Every time they enter the locker room before they leave, there's a certain standard that we expect that locker room to look like. And that same standard is going to be withheld on Friday nights when they take the field.
And you talked about your quarterback situation, saying it's one of the most unique around. And, I mean, easily, like you said, 2 Division I quarterbacks here. In this day and age where kids, they can get down on themselves if they don't see themselves winning the position battle, they just up and leave. They can transfer out now. For both these guys to stick around till their senior year, knowing that they're both going to play, it's not one over the other, what's that say about each of these guys?
Oh, my gosh. What does it say about their families, right? I mean, we are in a new era of high school football, right? And the quarterback position being the most prominent position. If, there's a lot of people that feel if you're not playing as a freshman or as a sophomore, you're going to go find greener pastures. The fact that these 2 young men have played football together on the same team, playing the same position since they were 8 years old, it just speaks volumes about how they're parented and how they are as young men. Like, this is something that, storybooks and movies are written about, right? 2 high-level quarterbacks that sacrificed everything, reps, playing time. If they were at other schools, yeah, maybe, Femi would be going to Alabama or Georgia. Maybe Maverick would be going to a high Power 5 level school, right? But the fact that they were so selfless to stick it out, and because they trust the brotherhood that we're all about and the culture of Ravenwood High School, just speaks volumes to them as young men, and that's why it's such a privilege to represent them up here.
All right, any more questions? Joe Williams.
Just a couple. Hi, guys. Joe Williams, WAKM Radio. Looked up the travel involved in this first game or second game to Madison, Ridgeland. According to Google, where everybody goes, this is a 7-hour drive. Talk a little bit about the logistics of moving this football team. And I'm assuming the band's going to, the whole concept of going all the way to basically Jackson, Mississippi to play a football game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, Coach Hester and I, he asked our staff, how interested we would be in traveling out of state, and all of us immediately said absolutely, And then when that was set in schedule, a lot of it was parents, right, who, kind of figured out the logistics of how are we going to manage bringing 100+ players plus all the support staff, and, are we going to get a student bus? Is the band going to travel with us? So it's been a 6-month process of doing it, right? And we were originally scheduled to leave on a Friday. Once, kind of I took over the program, I figured, why not go out there on a Thursday? Do we have to fundraise a little bit more money for us to be able to spend an extra night out there in Mississippi? But I think something, as you guys will learn about me, is like how important those experiences are for these kids. This isn't going to be the first time Ravenwood High School travels out of state, right? That's something that we plan on doing going forward in the future. And the most exciting piece is we're going to have a lot of high-level college football players in our program, and this is basically going to be the same setup that they're going to be used to when they're playing on Saturdays. So from the bus ride, to stopping in Tuscaloosa to eat, to spending the night in the hotel room, to waking up and doing a real college, kind of itinerary on that Friday morning, to being able to go out in a community in Madison that loves football just as much as we do. Like, it's the things that you dream about as a kid to be able to experience that. So super excited to spend that experience with these kids.
Players, from your standpoint, I know you guys have already made some out-of-state travel. The bus ride. How crazy does the bus ride get? Or do you just put the old headphones on and go to sleep, which I doubt is what happens with everybody?
I just kind of sit there, watch a movie or something. But some people might be messing around a little bit. Like Probably the defensive bus.
Sounds like a little bit of omerta.
Yeah.
The old mob silence plan there. We don't tell anything that happened. The other question to follow up on that, you've got a couple, I guess 3 private schools on your schedule this year. How much of that is looking for the best competition, and how much of that is schools don't want to play Ravenwood because of the tradition and the success that you've had in the past?
I think it's twofold, right? I mean, when you have the caliber of program that we have, we want to play the best competition week in and week out to prepare us for our county schedule, right? But, I'd be lying if I said that we haven't reached out to programs where they've denied the opportunity to play us. But to have the schedule that we have that is a good combination between public and private schools, it also gives them a different Friday night atmosphere. My previous school that I was at was a smaller private school, a little different environment on Friday nights than we have at Ravenwood High School. So for these kids to get the opportunity to compete against the best programs in the state and to see how other campuses do it, that's why we do what we do. And it's the most important thing is our county schedule, right? So it's going to prepare them for that battle.
Last question, and it's for you 3. Do you care? Do you care if it's a public school, a private school, a 6A, 7A, 2A? Do you care? Or you just want to go play the game?
No, not really. I feel like we could beat any team, go against any team. I'm excited for any competition that we get, so it doesn't matter to me. I'm sure the same answer for these guys too.
Yeah, like I kind of said earlier, kind of just treat everyone the same. There's no special games. It's all another football game on a Friday night, so that's how I'm going to treat it.
Yeah, they got it.
Thank you.
All right. Gentlemen, great job today. Appreciate you being here. Have a great season. And that concludes Media Day for 2025. Thanks to everybody coming out.